What's going on? What's going on, film fam? Welcome to another episode of Let the Film Speak. I am one of your hosts, Chop. Here with my main man, Willie Jack. Willie Jack, how you doing this Wednesday evening, my brother?
I've been better. I've been better, but it's still 7 o'clock. I'm still talking about with my dog. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still, so I'm gonna thug it out. I'm gonna thug it out for the cause. Film. I ain't gonna let you down.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you being a trooper, man, because it may not be Victory Wednesday for you, but hey, it's Victory Wednesday for your boy, so I'm feeling good, feeling great, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna hold it down for you, man. I'm holding it down for you.
Hey, you know what? And I needed you to get that victory too, especially how my Sunday. So I needed that victory. There, I appreciate you.
I got you, man. Hey, even when you don't know it, I got your back, man.
Hey, my dog.
But yeah, man, y'all know what tonight is, man. It's the Week 13 recap. We're going to run through each and every game from the Week 13 slate of games. Of course, we're going to talk about Performer of the Week, and we also going to preview the Thursday night game, man. So we're going to jump into that. But before we do any of that, we got to go through the house rules. The house rules are the same as always. That's like, that share, that subscribe, and hit that notification bell. You know what I'm saying? Become the newest member of the Film Fam. Holler at your partners. Let them know what's going on. And then also be in the know. You do all those things, and I guarantee you we will not let you down. Announcements, Willie Jack. Announcements, man. And it's the same, man. You know what I'm saying? Usually it's get those picks in. And I like to say get those picks in, but we just had those. We just had those picks. You know, I gotta let y'all know what's been going on. And last week, I'll tell you right now, the in first place was pick six. Pick six with 10 total wins on the week. Finished first on the last week. Pick them, then stick them, and then hey, you may call me Mr. Champ. My dog himself, Willie Jack, was tied for second, man. Tied for second last week, man. You had a pretty solid week, man. Had a pretty solid week for sure. Hey, you did your thing, my brother.
I gotta find my win somewhere. I gotta get a victory somehow.
Hey, I was thinking the same thing, man. But hey, but just want to let you know, I ain't too far behind. I seen my name right after yours, big dog. So I just want to let you know that. Hey, your boy ain't too far behind, man. So yeah. Also get your picks in. We got a Thursday night game, so make sure you get that in. And then we can continue to go from there. Next week. Nah, don't worry about it. We'll get to that when we get to it. But go ahead and get your picks in, and then we'll go from there. As far as news, Willie Jack, we got a little bit of news, man. Former linebacker of the Indianapolis Colts, man. We talked about him a few weeks ago. Shaquille Leonard signs with, yet again, the Philadelphia Eagles, man. Your boy, Howie Rose, man, does it again, Willie Jack. He does it again, man. Tell me how he did it, man. Go ahead, talk to you, bro.
Man, I'm trying to tell you, man, how it need to be stopped, man, because it's getting outrageous now, man. But now this is a massive pickup for sure. And now, of course, we're assuming that Shaq Leonard being the player that we all like remember him at his best. And like I said, I know it was a rough going Indianapolis. It fell apart, but man, if I had to make a bet whether or not we can get him back or get him in the building, I'd take that chance as well. So excellent pickup, and then the timing of it as well. He was decided between the Cowboys and the Eagles, choose the Eagles, and now his first game action will be against the Cowboys, who he just spurned. And so, great pickup for Howie, man. He's killing the game, man. He need to rename that Executive of the Year award after Howie at this point.
Absolutely, man. Another good pickup for those guys. A good versatile linebacker from what I can remember. A guy that can get out the pass rusher. A guy that can cover. He gets sideline to sideline, help with and run defense. Man, he does a lot, to this already talented defense. So I definitely think he adds a good presence and is able to, kind of do what he needs to do to help them keep this ball rolling and help them make some noise in the playoffs, especially after this past week. Of course, we'll get to that game in a little bit, but. Definitely a good piece for them to add and, just, continue to build that defense on that side of the ball. So I like the move too. But that's all the news we got today, Willie Jack. So if you was in here early, as you should have been, Willie Jack, go ahead and talk to him, man. I need a film fam check-in, man. Who's in the building, my dog?
Yeah, I know it was a little different scheduling today, man. But first, we're through the building for sure. My Duke's in the building, as always. Appreciate you. Said good Wednesday. Have a blessed show, as always. We appreciate it. Love to hear from you later. And then our dog, man, our favorite co-worker, Zach the Max ZB in the building. He said, "What's up to the film fam?" And then let's see here. Oh, and then speaking of Shaq Leonard, man, our dog ZB said his brother's a Colts fan, and so still has love for the Maniac, man. He's sad to see him go. Maniac, if you don't know, is the nickname that they gave Shaq Leonard, man, coming out of South Carolina State. And so, let you know, I guess, his mentality on game days. When guys start calling you Maniac, lets me know you a different kind of different. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a different kind of different. And when guys start calling, like, man, hey, Maniac. He could have been Beast. He could have been Tank. Them wasn't enough. Maniac. So that let me know what he's on, man, when it's Sunday and the whistle blows. So, no, hey, so your loss is the Eagles games, though, my boy. Matter of fact, ZB, tell little bro pull up. I don't think I've been properly introduced. Go ahead and tell little bro pull up, man. Have a good time. And then one more, man, in the dough. Wifey, sister to the show, Mrs. Boy. She said, what's happening to all the filmmakers out there? We appreciate all the love and support for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm pretty sure my wife got some things to say to you as we go through this show today, Willie Jack. But I'm gonna say that for her. I ain't gonna put the news out. I ain't gonna put the news out. You know, I'll let her spread that if she wants to. You know what I'm saying? So we'll get to that if we need to. But let's go ahead and jump into these games, Willie Jack, man. We had some games, week 13, man. Some pretty decent games. And the first one we're gonna start off with, we got the Colts. The Colts. Speaking of the Colts, just talking about the boy Maniac, they went to Tennessee to take on the Titans, and the Colts get this game on the road, 31-28. Willie Jack, what was your take on this
one? Man, this was I didn't expect the game to go this way. Like I said, man, this was a very exciting game. Again, it went to overtime. A lot of points scored in this game, and so I didn't expect to see it unfold the way it did. But clean game from Minshew, man. These Colts are really putting together some quality performances here over this last 3-4 weeks of the season. And I think that definitely has to start with Gardner Minshew, who has definitely kind of cleaned up his turnovers. Just namely, he goes over 300 yards in this game, over 40 pass attempts, 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. Now he does have 2 fumbles in this game, but as far as him passing the ball and turning the ball over in the passing game, he hasn't done that now. I feel like, or not at a great clip over this last month or so of season. Big day for Michael Pittman. Not Michael Pittman. What's that boy's name? Cuz Pittman Jr. All right, this is Michael Pittman. I thought it was, but then when I said it, it made me think of the old running back from way back in the day with the Bucks. I was like, hold on, man, I'm tripping.
Yeah, that's his daddy. That's his daddy. Don't worry about it.
There we go. Yeah. Matter of fact, it might be because he's Michael Pittman Jr. I believe.
No, it is, bro. It's his daddy.
Oh, that's his real life daddy. Oh, damn. Okay. Man, I never put 2 and 2 together to make 6. Okay, 11 for 105 and a touchdown in this one. A big day for is it? I'm tripping, bro. 3 for 100 and a touchdown as well for Pierce as well. I can't remember his first name. I know he came out of Cincinnati, but not so big day for some of the guys in that receiver core. And then that Colts defense, man, wanted to shout those guys out as well. 6 sacks on the day. They forced 3 fumbles. Quiddy Pay, man. He was one of my favorite like draft time crushes a few years ago. Man, I actually loved his film coming out of college. But yeah, he had 2 sacks in this game. Sam Ekuman as well. He had another 2 sacks as well. And so that defense definitely got after Will Levis and them. And then for their part as well, man, Will Levis has a pretty decent day. Over 20 yards. He does have a touchdown in this game as well. No interceptions. He did lose 3 fumbles. And then Derrick Henry, man, another 100-yard day for him and 2 touchdowns. And so a big day for them. And like I said, a pretty entertaining game, man. And actually went to overtime and the Colts pulled it out.
Absolutely. And it's definitely, like you said, Willie Jack, it was definitely a big win for them. And it's even bigger now with the current situations. We've been seeing injuries happen week after week after week, man. And it just seems like they do not stop. And it was another big injury in this division. Well, in this game, first and foremost, but then also in this division that now for a lot of people, the way they're looking at this kind of opens up the door. So we'll get to it with the Jacksonville injury with Trevor Lawrence and him now being out. But now with him being out, that for maybe a couple weeks or so, that opens up the door for teams like the Colts, who just picked up a big win, who are only a game out, and then also the Texans, who are also a game out, who picked up a win too. We'll end up talking about pretty soon. But this was a huge win for them, and I picked the Titans in this game because I felt like, well, actually, what they were doing at first was going to be the thing that carried them through the game, and that was Derrick Henry. And Derrick Henry had a pretty solid game this game. He had over 100 yards before we end up going out with, I believe he went into concussion protocol in this game or with an injury, and then the Tennessee Titans had to go from Derrick Henry to rely on Tajay Spears, and I think they kind of messed up the rhythm of the Tennessee Titans a little bit. You know, they caused them to have a little bit of a shakeup in the way that their offenses ran. I think if Derrick Henry's there, they're able to close out this game, but instead they're not. Indianapolis, they get the ball and they're able to do what they need to do on offense, and then they get the game-winning touchdown to Michael Pittman. So big win for them in this particular game. And I just like the way things are set up for them now, their chances and the ability for them to possibly make a run or push, in this playoff run. So big shout out to the Colts in this one, because this is definitely a big win for them. Big win for them. And then and I know you just kind of stepped off a little bit too, Willie Jack, but sis just brought up in the building, man. She said, hello, my Weebles. What's going on, sis? How you living? She in the building. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, I think that's it. That's all we had since you left. But let's keep on moving, Willie Jack. Let's go on to the next game. We had the Los Angeles, I was about to say the San Diego, but the Los Angeles Chargers go to New England and take on the Patriots. Man, they win this one in an ugly win. They win this one on the road 6-0. 6-0. And yet again, Willie Jack, another game in a row where the Patriots hold the Chargers or another team under 10 points, and yet again they lose. Like, if
it's 3 in a row.
Before going into this game, if you'd tell me, hey man, the Chargers, they're gonna shut the Patriots out. Now, I don't care how bad your offense is, I wouldn't have thought that the Chargers would be able to hold the Patriots to 0 points. And they did. They held the Patriots to 0 points. But the Patriots, on the other hand, they weren't there to play around either. They had, just like Bill Belichick does, drew up the scheme. And I'm kind of wondering, like, if that's really the thing that's keeping Bill Belichick, afloat as of right now, because we know he's a defensive guy, and unlike Brandon Staley, his defense was screwed up. You know what I mean? Like, when the Chargers were losing games, they've given up so many points, and the offense is trying to keep up. But on the Patriots side of it, no, they're not giving up points. They gave up 26 points in the last 3 games and are 0-3. And 46 in the last 4 games, and they are 0-4, bro. 0-4. Like, that is crazy to think that a team can go out there and put together this type of defensive performance and still come away with L's. That means there is a lot that needs to change on that offense. And then on top of that, they lose Ramondre Stevenson in this game. So I really don't know where their offense is going to come from going forward. You know what I mean? But they got it. I don't know what they're going to do with the Jack. Well, the season is pretty much over for them now. I mean, anyway, because they won't be making the playoffs. But, like, I don't know what this team is going to do going forward. But they keep on stopping people, but can't put up points.
And exactly right, man. And I was going to talk about that defensive stretch they've been having as well. But got a good comment from our dog ZB. He said the Patriots still covered the spread in this game, and so and I don't know if it's the first time, but I can't imagine it's happened often. But yeah, a team covered the spread getting shut out. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as if you're a gambler, if you're a junkie, that's crazy, right? That's what I'm saying. You covered the spread and it getting shut, didn't score no points to cover the spread, so that's wild. But no, man, we got to think about, like, to a very lesser extent, but like just how historically significant it is. To the last 3 games, opponents are averaging less than 9 points a game. They haven't won. The last 4 games, opponents are averaging less than 12 points a game. They haven't won. Like, what was that 2000s Ravens defense, bro? They gave up like 13.8 points a game, and it's historically a top 3 game defense in the history of the league. They're playing at a better clip than that as far as points allowed, and they haven't won a game. That tells me how bad Bradley Zappi is and Mac Jones are, because Trent Dilfer was able to get to 14. You know what I'm saying? They had to win them games 14-13, 14-12. So Dilfer got 14. We can't get Trent Dilfer production out of Zappi and Mac Jones, so that's crazy, man. But no, that defense is definitely playing as you should. And just like you said, man, unlike Brandon Staley, if one thing's gonna go right with this team, it better be the defense, because that's what I made my name on it. And Bill Belichick is showing us that. So that's crazy.
Gotcha. Hey, here's another thing, Willie Jack. Before we get out of this, I want to remind some people of something. And this is another reason, Willie Jack, while I always talk situations, and for a lot of players in this NFL, good and bad, people who we view as good players and people who we view as bad players. For a lot of these players, man, the situations are what make them, and not necessarily all about who they are specifically as a player. Like me and Willie Jack talk about this all the time. There's certain players where, hey, it don't matter what system you put them in, or whatever, they're going to excel. They're going to succeed. Then you got those players where, hey, it's got to be right for me. It's got to be good for me in order for me to do my thing. Your boy Austin Eckler, man, it's the reason why I wasn't so high on him, man. It was the reason why I wasn't so high on him, and I think we're starting to see that. And it's not necessarily the people around him. I think it's more so just the coaching, the scheme, and how they're utilizing him. This is the first year under what's my guy name? I always forget his name too. Came from
Kellen Moore.
First year under Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore is we know what Kellen Moore likes to do. Kellen Moore likes to push the ball down the field. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to be able to get yours, you got to be able to get yours in between the tackles. You're gonna get some plays schemed up for you. You know, so he's getting the ball, he's touching the ball, but you compare him to a guy like I know we talked about Tony Potter a little bit too, but Tony Potter in this same scheme looked a lot different. You know what I mean? And now we're seeing Austin Eckler have to do things a little bit different in this particular offense. And maybe the Chargers were right in saying, "Hey man, we're not paying you, man. We don't think you necessarily worth this amount of money." Now we know what he did. He put up a lot of touchdowns. There's a lot of touchdowns for sure. I ain't taking it away from him, but I still want people to kind of temper expectations and really think about the situations some of these players are in that helps them be helps elevate their production. You know what I mean, in these situations. So there's something I want to point out.
No, and I got you. And I don't want us to single out Eckler as well, because it can be a thing that's it definitely is a thing that still should be accounted for as well. But also our dog ZB, and I don't know about this or not. I know Eckler definitely dealt with some injuries. He missed a lot of time this year. Our dog ZB, he speculates maybe he's speculating that Eckler still got to be dealing with the effects of the injury that had sidelined for a little bit. He thinks he looks a little slow to be declining like that. And like I said, I don't know enough about as far as the injury and stuff goes. But like I said, man, I don't necessarily want to write him off, and especially in a game like this against this Patriots defense, like we said, that are playing at a historical level on that side of the ball. And so it was definitely an ugly day at the office in this game. I think he may have had 50 total yards rushing and receiving in this game. But mind you, this is a game in which the team doesn't score a touchdown. They only score 6 points. You know what I mean? So it was an ugly day all the way around. But no, there's definitely something to that. A prime example of that is Stephon Diggs, who was a guy who didn't often break 1,000 yards in Minnesota, and then he got to Buffalo in a different situation and is used a different way, and he's an all-pro almost overnight. And so the talent is the same, but just like you said, man, so sometimes being in a system that plays more to your strengths, or a coaching staff that just like I said, recognizes or uses you in a certain light or a certain way, it definitely can have a big impact for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can even say that on that team. You know, even the difference in Keenan Allen. I don't think Keenan Allen is any different as a player in terms of his skill set, what he's able to do, and what he's able to bring to a team. But I think the way that they're utilizing him in this offense, it's got him looking like a top 5 receiver. You know what I mean? But Keenan Allen is no different from last year. He's no different from the year before or the year before that. You know, Keenan Allen has always had his skill set. He's always been a guy we looked at like, oh man, Keenan Allen, nice. He's nice. And he still produced, but not to this level. So now when you put him in this type of situation, he goes from borderline top 10 receiver to borderline top 5 receiver. That's a difference in tiers. You know what I'm saying there. So I just think, like you agreeing to your point, Willie Jack, different situations can kind of elevate or bring you back down or bring you down, you know, depending on the situation that you're in. So I'm agreeing with you.
No doubt.
Absolutely. All right, on to the next one, Willie Jack. Let's go to New Orleans, man, where we have the Detroit Lions go there. They get the win on the road against the Saints. They win this one 33-28. Willie Jack, what's your take on this one?
Man, this is another one, man. This was what turned out to be a pretty exciting game as well, man. A lot of points scored in this one as well. Goff in the game, pretty clean day for Goff, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then pretty good day for this I want to highlight. Big day for Sam Laporta, man. Sam Laporta definitely the just player of the game, I guess, especially if you're a Lions fan. 9 for 140 and a touchdown, breaks one for like 50 yards or so. And I saw a graphic or stat that Sam Laporta needs over the next 6 games. There's 6 games left on the Lions schedule. Over these next 6 games, I think he needs roughly 350 yards or like 348 yards to break the all-time rookie tight end receiving record that's still held by Mike Ditka from his days with the Bears in the 60s or so. And so if you don't know, I think Mike Ditka cracked 1,000 yards as a rookie tight end in like 1962 or something crazy like that. Right. And that record is still stood until today. So that's a very impressive record. And especially in the revitalized era, could be the offensive tight end era. Our era right now, there's never been more production from the tight end position over, let's say, these last 10 years or so. Guys like Jimmy G, Gronk, Travis Kelce, and Kittle now, Mark, and so all these guys. And so he's a guy that all things looking as they should, I would expect him to break that record. And so definitely a huge accomplishment for him there. Pretty good day on the ground for Montgomery and Gibbs. They starting to look like the best 1-2 tandem in the league now. I mean, not a massive day, but just still productive day. 18 for 56 and a touchdown for Dave Montgomery. Gibbs goes 8 for 60, breaks a long one in this one as well. But still, they look very good together. Then on the other side for the Saints, Derek Carr goes to just over 200 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick in this game. Leaves this game, I think, in concussion protocol, and I think Jameis is expected to finally make his first start this next game.
I didn't see it. I'm not sure, so I can't confirm or not confirm it. I didn't see that one, so I'm gonna be looking out for that too. But
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think I've seen something say that it's maybe trending that way, but of course, I mean, there's still maybe a chance that maybe he clears the protocol. But it's time to free Jameis anyway, man. I've been ready to see it. It's time to free Jameis at this point, man. Just let him get a run. But like I said, because whatever we're doing with the Saints with Derek Carr, maybe it is cleaner, less turnover-free football, but it's not winning football. It's not productive offensive football. And so at this point, I don't see how we get much worse. You know what I mean? Like, we can't say we're sticking with Carr because we're playing bad offensive football, but we're winning. We're still losing. Okay, so now at this point, let's see if we can do something. We got to get something going. Not a spectacular day for Jameis in his limited time in this game. He goes 2 for 5. But big day for Alvin Kamara in this game. 50 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. He also has over 50 yards receiving in this game. Taysom Hill gets in the end zone in this one. Olave goes over 100 yards. And then a blast from the pass, man. Speaking of tight ends making a name for themselves, Jimmy Graham, man. Jimmy Graham finds another day in the sun, man. Jimmy Graham has 1 catch in this game. Gets his Julio Jones on, man. 1 catch for 6 yards, and that catch being a touchdown. If you only gonna catch one, you might
got to be a tub. It got to be a tub, man.
Exactly. Let it be a tub. And so Jimmy G, man, gets in the paint one more time. But nah, man, very good win for Detroit. Kind of like I was saying Sunday, this is the type of win I wanted to see them have. Like I said, because they've been kind of teetering on the line of like they're a contender, but like a contender for the Super Bowl, or just a team that's going to get in the playoffs and maybe it doesn't look to have what it takes to go all the way. And so they've been kind of, every time I think they're on the precipice of taking that next step and solidifying ourselves as, no, we're going to make a Super Bowl run. They run into Baltimore and get spanked, or you know what I mean? They just drop one or just get it ran out the gym. So going on the road to New Orleans, that defense is still very talented, and then picking up this win in a competitive win. Like I said, it's a 5-point ball game. And so this is a very good win for Detroit, an NFC opponent as well, another playoff opponent, likely playoff opponent as well. So very good win for them to go on the road and get this done.
Gotcha, man. And I like a lot of what you said too. And we had a couple different questions in here, so we're gonna touch on those in just a second. So give us a second, y'all, because I do want to answer those questions. Some good questions in there. But I will say that it's the inconsistencies for the Saints again, man. It's not as good as Detroit has been. I know you talked about the running back tandem. I think they just complement each other so well. David Montgomery, what he brings to the table is just. It's just that much more explosive when you see Jahmyr Gibbs get out there and they start to get him in some space and they start to utilize him in the different ways they utilize him. And then you still allow David Montgomery, who can really get in between those tackles. And like I said a few weeks ago, still has a little bit of get up, man. So if he gets in that open space, he can turn some of those 3-4 yard runs into 15 to 20, 25. You know? So that keeps them dangerous. And then the connection between Goff, Laporta, and Goff, and what's my other guy name? Amon-Ra St. Brown. They continue to be the consistency in that pass game, and then you get those splashes with Jamison Williams, man. And then as they continue to do that just makes them just that much more dangerous, because they can beat you literally in all parts of the field. You know what I mean? Whether it's in the flats, whether it's deep down the field, whether it's intermediate, they're dangerous everywhere, because Goff can hit all of those throws, but then also, you know, he has the guys that can really stretch the field, you know, since to really get underneath. Like, so you really can't pick one area and say, this is how we're going to stop the Detroit Lions. No, you have to be able to stop multiple things and really have a good defense to slow them down. But then, like I said, it's inconsistencies with the Saints, man. Derek Carr and an interception, and also had a fumble loss in this game. It's the turnovers there, and then you're hearing a lot of noise on whether is it Derek Carr, is it Dennis Allen, like who is the cause behind the inconsistencies within this team, you know, and what they're doing. Beforehand, they were the beginning of the season, they were playing some really good defense. Now they're giving up a lot of points the last 3 or 4 games. Willie Jack, I don't know what it looked like exactly, but I'll say they've been giving up a lot of points the last few games. You know what I'm saying? And even just let me see, just over the last 3 games, they gave up 27, 24, and 33 points. You know what I'm saying? All losses, 3 losses in a row. You know what I'm saying? So they're not the same strong defense that they were at the beginning of the season. So they got a lot of work to do for sure. A lot of work to do.
No doubt, man. No doubt. And hold on real quick, man. This is wrong one. My bad, ZB. No, man, our dog Tom slid in the building, man. What's going on with you, man? He said when we're talking about Sam Laporta, and there's some comments about him in the chat as well, how well he's playing, especially to be so young and be a rookie. He said, who's his game remind you of, man? If you had to describe his game, I don't know if you got somebody off the top of your head real quick.
Man, all the other Iowa tight ends, all of them, they all look very similar. When you talk about TJ Hockenson, you talk about George Kittle, you talk about him. Now, the only one that looks slightly different is Noah Fant. Noah Fant was more of a finesse tight end, but those 3 guys, the Kittles, the Hawkinsons, and the Laporta are physical tight ends that are hard-nosed, old school, go across the middle, also got a little bit of a shake to their game, but just well-rounded tight ends that can do it all. And don't get me wrong, tight end as a rookie is one of the hardest positions to play. You know, so it usually takes a tight end a few years to adjust to the league, adjust to, just the speed of the game, adjust to the size of the strength.
I would say,
like there's a lot of different things that the tight ends have to adjust to. And like I said, it's one of the hardest positions to adjust to. And he's taking it in stride. And he's coming in as a rookie and proving and showing that, hey man, I'm on the way and I'm gonna be top 5 before you guys know it. You know, so I'm calling it, I'm saying that Sam Laporta is gonna be a top 5 tight end, here pretty soon. And next year, I think could be an even better year for him, in comparison to what we're seeing from him now.
No, I got you. I was gonna say, I think Kittle's almost kind of his own cat, man, with the proficiency of like his blocking proficiency and that physicality. I think it's I wouldn't necessarily go that far with it, but I think it. I almost.
But they cut from that cloth. Like Kittle is different, but Hockenson is right behind him when it comes to like the blocking ability and all that type of stuff. But then like what I'm saying is that they all cut from that same cloth. They're probably not. They don't have the tools and the skill set of a Kittle, all in all, because Kittle can.
Well,
Kittle does everything at the A level. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I think Laporta's game has more. I think he's out of all of them. I think his game is the most like receiver savvy out of like all those guys, or like he's got a kind of I don't know, man. That's a good one, man. I was going to lean more into, and I hate to use. I'm not going to use Kelsey, and I'm trying not to use like just the common, just those names.
But those are the people that they know. So
and you're right. And honestly, I can almost see he's not as big, but I think he's probably a little more similar to Mark Andrews than he is to Kittle, in both his usage and I think in like his I like him a little up the field more than some of these guys. I think he's got like a little more savviness in his receiving abilities, I think. But I didn't want to just go with one of these common names. But no, good question, man. And like I said, tight end you, man, Iowa for sure. They're putting those guys in the league, and those guys are producing. And so good shout out by our dog Tom.
Gotcha.
Hold on, one more, man. And I'm sorry, I seen this one late. Our dog ZB said there might be four new coaches in the NFC. You think what are the chances you would think that all 4 coaches in the NFC South get the boot, man? So we got Carolina and Reich. That's already happened. They already under an interim coach. I think Dennis Allen is gone in New Orleans. If he holds on, like you said, they've lost 3 in a row. I mean, I don't know how much longer he can hold on in New Orleans before they get some type of riot or revolt going. Then who we missed? Atlanta and your boy Arthur Smith. I mean, he's starting to get Bijan a ball, but let's see how his seat is glowing hot, and so he's definitely on the line as well. And who's the last NFC South team? Who am I forgetting? Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay. Yeah, shit. Tampa Bay and Ty Bowles. And so, I mean, they're still kind of fighting and struggling, looking at maybe they might have tried that 7 seed, but
I'm not mad at what Ty Bowles is doing, though. I'm not mad about what he's doing with that particular team. I don't see any when I watch him in comparison to watching everybody else, I don't see any glaring holes in how he prepares his team and how he, tries to get them ready week after week to play against a lot of these teams. I think he may be the safest one of that four. Now, that's not saying much, but I'm just saying if anybody will be able to survive another year, I think it could be him. Now, the other part of this too is Atlanta's leading this division. Does Atlanta could I still think he's not a good coach, Arthur Smith, but could Atlanta, after them possibly winning this division, be the first team to
fire a coach? Yeah.
fire coach after winning the division? Like, what does him winning this division say? Now, I do think it's a lot of that is going to have to do with how he handles the second half, the rest of this season, because the first half he did an atrocious job. Now, I will say that the last couple weeks he's done a better job of utilizing his talent, utilizing the guys that he has, but I'm still not sold on him. But that's not to say that the owners and GM wouldn't be sold on him if he happens to lead this team there to the division win.
Yeah, and that's the same thing I would say as well, man. It'd be hard to fire a coach, or he'd have a pretty strong leg to stand on when they call him in office at the end of the year. Let's say, assuming they win the division, that means they get a home playoff game as well. And so, it had to be a pretty one-sided, just abysmal loss at home. Like they just look so unprepared to just get spanked and outright, something like that. But yeah, if you win that division, man, and you're competitive in the game, because that NFC at the top is going to be pretty stacked anyway. The number 5 seed is Dallas. And so if Atlanta wins that division, they would be the 4 seed. If everything holds as it is, they would play Dallas. They would play Dallas at home. And so I don't know the odds of them realistically winning that game.
Yeah,
so
the same as last year. Dallas met Tampa Bay last year in the playoffs, I believe.
Yeah,
I'm talking about Atlanta. You talking about Atlanta?
Yeah,
my bad.
That
division played Dallas.
Yeah, no, for sure. But so I don't know how far they, if everything, like I said, if it started tomorrow, I don't know who's taking them to beat Dallas, even though they are going to be at home. And so yeah, man, I can see that they fool around and win this division at 8-9. You know what I'm saying? And so if that's the case, division winner or not, yeah, I think that'd probably be good enough reason for them to still get out of there. But now, good question for my dog ZB.
For sure. Keeping it pushing, Willie Jack. Let's go to New York. And speaking of the Falcons, man, the Falcons go to New York to beat the Jets, man. They beat them on the road 13-8, man. Another big win because this win keeps them afloat first place, and they can't trying to take full control. They were in first place beforehand, and they had the tiebreaker with the Saints, but with the Saints losing and them getting this W, that puts them in full control of first place in this division, man. And it was a rough one. Sloppy game on both sides. The Jets, like I thought they would, they kept them in this game with their defense. Their defense was they played a very, very good game in terms of slowing down this Atlanta offense. And then also, we know what Desmond Ridder and those guys bring to the table. So it wasn't a perfect game. Now, he didn't throw any interceptions this game, so that was one portion. And they didn't have any turnovers, so that was another surprising part. But just overall, in terms of slowing down what Atlanta wanted to do best in this game, they were able to do a good job of that, and they didn't allow the Atlanta Falcons to really run away with this game. The problem was, what the problem has always been for the Jets, and that's offense. They couldn't put points on the board, and Tim Boyle or Trevor Siemian couldn't get the job done when it counted, and they had numerous and multiple opportunities in this game, and they just couldn't get it done. Your boy still playing some really good ball. What's my man's name? The safety, Jesse Bates.
Jesse Bates,
some really good ball. He had another
interception in this game.
Another interception in this game. So he continues to turn the ball over and be a staple on the back end of this defense, and is not allowing teams to really do much with them. But the Jets still having trouble, man. And I was going to say this on the show, Willie Jack, but I did hear earlier today. So going forward, I think Zach Wilson is going to be the starter again. And I was going to say, man, I think they should go back to him. I know you wanted to try some things because Zach Wilson didn't look good. He didn't look good. That's just true, being honest about it. But as far as what I remember from Zach Wilson, he looked a lot better than what Trevor Siemian and Tim Boyle looked. So I think you got to go back to Zach Wilson and just let him ride out the rest of the season and see what you can do, because obviously this is your best option. You know what I'm saying? This is your best option. And here's another thing: as much as we had, I wish my dog Miles was in the building. As much as we talked about Joe Flacco and was like, man, if he was on a team, or why is he still in the league? I'm really confident that Joe Flacco would have got them this game. Joe Flacco could have won them this game. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm standing with that, man. But yeah, Atlanta win this game on the road. Good win for them.
No doubt, man. And my sentiments are pretty much the same. Then we got a good question from our dog ZB, man. Says, can anybody explain why Tim Boyle is anywhere near an NFL field? He's a typo right there. And exactly right, man. The quarterback play on some of these teams is so pedestrian, or it's so mediocre, it's so poor, just flat out poor, that guys like Tim Boyle got to get a look. And so that's what's, just like my dog was saying, as bad as it's been for Zach White, it's almost kind of to a worse extent, probably, like I was saying with David Carr. It's as bad or as ugly as it's looked at times, and we're still not winning, man. It's time to just get somebody else a look. And so that's kind of where the Jets were at, because like I said, this defense has kept them competitive in there's a handful of games that may have been W's with competent quarterback play. Maybe they 4 wins, maybe four more wins if they've just got competent or just par at the line quarterback play. They can't even get there. And so you got to give a look to a guy like Tim Boyle or even Trevor Siemian, who goes 5 for 13, has 3 fumbles in this damn game. You know what I'm saying? And so, but yeah, just tough going all the way around if you're a Jets fan, man. And
my reason is they don't have any other options. We got to remember, y'all, Zach Wilson is the backup. That means Tim Boyle is the 3rd string QB. Trevor Siemian was the 4th string. He probably wasn't even on the roster.
You know, probably got picked up from the practice squad or something.
Yeah. So Tim Boyle wasn't even suiting up. You know what I mean? Before the injury to Aaron Rodgers. So then that forced Tim Boyle to be bumped up. And, I said they should have went to go get somebody, but they didn't go get anybody. But if you're going to put somebody in the game, you got to go with somebody who knows your offense. And if Tim Boyle knows it, then you got to see what he got.
You got to do something.
After you see what Zach Wilson is putting together, you have to see what you have. You explore all options. So
no, and you know what? I just remembered as well, man. There was talk that when the coaching staff came back to Zach White and told him, okay, hey man, yeah, definitely didn't work. We're going back to you. That Zach White was reluctant to accept the starting quarterback role again. Did you see that? There was stories out that was Zach White.
I heard it.
Yeah,
I also heard a little bit of. I want to know how true it was, but it's a lot going on with that. I did hear a little bit of that.
Yeah, so man, if that's the case, man, but at the same time, nobody wants to be a glutton for punishment. Like if Mac Jones can choose to maybe sit out the rest of these Patriots games, man, go ahead and sit down, man. Let Bradley Zappi get it, because it's definitely as bad as it's been on Zach Wilson. I think Mac Jones in New England is getting even less sympathy, especially at this point. And where they are, so yeah, but that's wild, man. As bad as it can get to where you'll turn down the opportunity or be reluctant to have the opportunity to start in the NFL, man. That's crazy.
Gotcha. All right, Willie Jack. Well, we got to go to the next game, man. And I'll turn it over to you, man. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off, Willie Jack. Let's rip the Band-Aid off, man. The Arizona Cardinals, they go to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers, man, and they win this one on the road, 24-10. What happened, man?
You know what I'm glad you asked me. I tell you what happened. Chop went against the pattern. We had an established win-loss pattern, and Chop established. Chop is the one who made it a thing. Yeah, man. No, yeah. Look at it. Dun, dun, dun. 1 + 1 is 2. 2 + 3 is 5. Like y'all good. And then in the bottom of the 11th inning, out of nowhere, Chop's like, man, you know what? I don't like it this week. I really should blame you. It just hit me right now that you did that to us, bro. And it was terrible as my dog that you would do that. But in all honesty, man, we came out in this game. We went right down the field. And so it's coming off of that first week's game. We finally broke through the 400-yard barrier. Now we still only had 16 points, a red zone turnover fumble with the whole Deontay Johnson, Jalen Warren's fiasco and all these things. So the points weren't there. So I was looking for this week to kind of build on the production from the offense. But let's get in the paint. We drive right down the field on that first drive, and then we end up stalling. We stall in that first one. We come right back down the field as well. Yeah, we stall and get a 3. We come right back down the field on that second drive, and we stall again at the goal line. Kenny Pickett, who misses a wide open Calvin Austin in flat on the play, and he tries to scramble. He gets hurt and leaves the game, and now he's out with a severe high ankle sprain. He actually had surgery, so he's going to be out for. They're expecting him at the earliest to be back for our last game of the season against the Ravens, but gets himself hurt. Not seeing the field. Like I said, he had a touchdown. There was a touchdown in the flat to the left if he's playing quarterback and makes the throw and the read that he should. Instead, he gets himself hurt and comes out the game. We go for it on fourth down, fourth and goal from the half-yard line, and we get stonewalled. This is where the game turned. I think at this point it's 3-3. Arizona goes 99 yards on our defense that's been playing pretty good.
Big time drive, man. That was a big time drive.
Big time drive. They go 99 yards and punch it in for a touchdown. Now, and also to our credit as well, or not to our credit, but to add salt in our own wounds, we had, I want to say, 3 key penalties on that drive that extended the drive. And then also a big day from Trey McBride, the tight end whom allowed them to let go of Zach Ertz. So they waived Zach Ertz for this young guy, Trey McBride, Colorado State. He's been playing damn good. And so he did his thing, man. He had a pretty good day. I may have got 8 for 89 and a touchdown in this game. And so we lose him. Also early in this game, we lose our third middle linebacker. Landon Roberts goes down early in this game. And so now we're down to our 4th and 5th string linebackers. Both of these guys started the year on the practice squad, and Mark Robertson and Mikael Williams, I think, a guy we picked up off of Atlanta's practice, or from Atlanta on our practice squad. So these guys are playing the bulk of this game for us at middle linebacker. And then honestly, we were exposed throughout the middle of the field in both the pass and the run game all game long. We just didn't have an answer. And then also, man, to tell you how big that Landon Roberts loss was, mind you, like I said, we've already lost 2 other starting inside linebackers. But Landon Roberts coming into this game was ranked as the #1 run stop linebacker in the league. So PFF says his run stop percentages was like 14.8 or something like that, but he was #1 by, I want to say, a couple percentage points. So he's a phenomenal run stopper. And this is a game in which James Conner, in a return home to Pittsburgh, he played college ball there. We drafted him. He supplanted Le'Veon Bell first when we were going through that. He had a couple Pro Bowls with us, so he's a return home for him. And man, he chooses up, man. Goes 25 for 105, 2 touchdowns. So has a very big day for them. And yeah, they do what they had to do to keep to get a very good win, man, on the road against what should be a playoff style team. And then was this Kyler's 3rd game back, and so they've got to win. And so I'm curious to see how they look going forward. Weather was a big part of this game. There's a crazy rainstorm. There was a few rain delays as well. And so we start off slow. We take a couple massive injuries in this game, and then we just kind of never get our mojo. And then we let a team like Arizona, man, sit there and plug away, and they find a way to get it done. And they handled their business, man. I can't take nothing away from them. They deserved it. They went out there and they got it. And so kudos to them.
Yeah, man. And I'm gonna tell you what it really was, Willie Jack. I'm gonna tell you why y'all really lost this game, man. You know what I mean? It was the disrespect, man. It was disrespect because a lot of people expected the Steelers to go into this game and just do what the Rams did. You know what I'm saying? They seen the Rams put up over 200 and some rushing yards on these guys. So they're like, oh yeah, we can all run against him. They allowing everybody to run. Nah, man, hold your horses, man. We talk about Sean McVay over there. That's a different breed. You know, that's a different breed over there. You know what I'm saying? It ain't all sweet. You know what I'm saying? It ain't all sweet. Nah, but I will say that honestly, Willie Jack, just being honest with you, man, the game kind of played out similar to what I thought. I thought you guys would be able to put up another touchdown. I really thought y'all was gonna be able to score on the drive that they stopped y'all on with Najee Harris tried to run it in. They stuffed them at the goal line. I thought y'all be able to punch it in there. But I think that, like you said, that was a momentum switch. Switch. And then once the Cardinals were able to drive down the field and score that touchdown, that kind of changed things for them, got them going, got them more confident in what they were able to do. But then, of course, it's hard to get in the rhythm when you got these rain delays too, man. The 2 stoppages, for a while. This game didn't finish until well into the second. The
afternoon game
started. You know what I'm saying? The afternoon games just started. So this game took a while to finish, but like you said, great game for James Conner, man. It was a return home for him, and he pretty much let the Steelers know, hey, man, y'all got these two chumps running out of ball. Y'all trying to figure out who running it. Y'all could have just had me back here running that ball like a young man. But yeah, you know what I mean? I could have been here still doing this. But yeah, they came, they did their thing, man, and they took care of business. And I think as bad as their record looks, this Cardinals team is not as bad as they the record shows. I think they're much better, especially with Kyler Murray back. This is a different type of team. So, for all you Steelers fans out there, including my dog Willie Jack, Mike Baker ain't in here. He probably ain't want to hear us talk about the Steelers today. But for anybody that's a Steelers fan out there, man, hey, don't be discouraged because the Cardinals ain't the Cardinals that started off this season, man. It's a different type of team. So I think no doubt. And y'all definitely gonna bounce back tomorrow, which we'll get to that game in a little bit.
No doubt, man. And we got to remember as well before we move on, this Cardinals team, we're on the precipice of starting this season 3-0. Like if we remember, and that's with Josh Dobbs. You know what I mean? And so they dropped the game against the Giants, the one that stood out. They were up 20.
You said his name wrong. You mean Bigger Josh? That's his name.
Is he still Bigger Josh? Oh, my bad, Bigger Josh, 4-pick Josh. I can't remember what we call him no more. But that's all good. But this is the team like they damn near started 3-0 to start this year with Josh. And so if Kyler Murray is on these teams or is on this team, or if he's playing at this time, I can't help but think that those are games that more likely than not they win. And so just seeing even throughout the season, the Cleveland game as well, I think was a close one as well. That even that Baltimore game for a while. That one got away from him right before half. But still, this is a very competitive team. And if Kyler's there, they may be a team that's sitting somewhere closer to 6-5 or so, sitting closer to 500 than 2-10 that they are now, I think.
Gotcha. All right, Willie Jack. All right. Well, on to this next one real quick, man. Let's go to let's go to Washington, where Miami goes to Washington and take on the Commanders, and they beat up on them, boys. They bust them open. Hold on, my bad.
Man, God, dog, yeah, God, don't beat them up and bust them open, dog. God, man, calm down.
They beat the Commanders by 30, man, on the road. 45-15 was the final score here, man. And it's crazy because we've been calling for Miami to have one more or another one of those explosive games that they had,
we hadn't seen it in a while.
So we hadn't seen it in a while. And going into this, I felt like, and I think you feel like it too, Willie Jack, that this was going to be a little bit of a shootout, But the thing is, one team was ready for the shootout, but the other team wasn't,
Man.
And of course, that team was Miami. Miami came out ready to go, big time. Pass to Tyreek Hill. He goes up.
It really set the tone,
and really set that tone. And it was all she wrote from there, essentially. That was all that they needed to do to get it going. And then after that, everybody else followed. Tyreek Hill had another touchdown after that. Of course, they was kind of getting the ball around to a few different people. But then Devon Achane, man, another good game for him. 17 for 773, 2 touchdowns. So when we were talking about him in the pregame, and I think it was Zach the Mac asking, like, man, what is all the hype about with this guy? And it's because of things like this. It's like when he comes onto the scene. Of course, most of this is still a good running back as well, but Achane brings something different, man. He's explosive, and for some reason, he tends to find those open spaces on the field, and he finds the end zone. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think they should give it to him, or he should be the guy carrying the heavy load. But at the same time, man, when they get the ball in his hands, good things tend to happen. So Dolphins end up taking care of business on the road, man. They blow the Commanders out 45-15.
No, for sure. And just like you said, man, big day for Tyreek. What's he finished with? 5 for 157, 2 touchdowns, both touchdowns. The one to kind of start the game, damn near 80 yards, I think 78 yards, the final tally on that one. And then the second touchdown, 60 yards. And that's that I expect. I think that we both expected. And so big day for Tyreek. I think we both called for him to have 150 yards.
Do you have it written down with you?
Remember, he was my player of the week originally, but then you introduced the game first, but you also had him going for 150. And so I had him as 151 player of the week, but I ended up changing my player of the week since we kind of double dipped him. But yeah, so we both expected a game. Matter of fact, let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you exactly
Yeah,
what you
bro.
asked for, big dog.
Hey, man. Sometimes all these games I be getting wrong, man. I need to know when we be on point, Willie Jack.
I got you. Give me 1 second, my boy. Man, where's Miami's game at?
Don't worry about it. We know we call.
I'm gonna find. Yeah, I got it in here for sure. I went back too far. I'm looking at. All right, I'm gonna find it for you for sure though, because we definitely called for him to have 150 yards in this game, and I think 2 touchdowns. Yeah, that's what I think I had him for my player of the week stats. But yeah, and then you also gave him 150 yards in this game, and so definitely a big day. The defensive woes for this Commanders team continue. They fired Jack Del Rio, who hadn't been getting it done for that defense at all. But so you fire him, and then the thing about even these Tyree plays, the first touchdown, he's 1-on-1, I think, he's 1-on-1 in the slot against one of the safeties in zero coverage. Or no, that was the second one, the 60-yard one. He's 1-on-1 in the slot against the safety, and there's nobody over the top. And so that's a give me. Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? And so you would have thought that they would have I don't know, as poorly as their secondary's played all year up until this point, and now we've got Tyreek Hill in here. He's been on pace for 2,000 yards since week 3. Or you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case was. And so, like, what was the preparation for defensively all week? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is one of those games where, and we've talked about this before, this is what Bill Belichick's good at. You can beat me, but beat me left-handed. If there's one guy that can't go off, it's got to be Tyreek. And if he goes off, it better be, well, goddamn, man, he's superhuman, because we put 3 dudes on him. You know what I'm saying? We left 2 guys open so that Tyreek couldn't get off, and he still got us. Do it like that. Don't do it in this way, man, where you got him going up against safeties and your dime corner, you know what I'm saying? And now he's just taking the top off it. So just poor job there, man, defensively. And man, yeah, we can get out of that, man. Yeah, Miami goes on the road and does what they had to do and runs it up. I did want to shout out as well, man, the kind of how this one started. We get the touchdown, the 80-yard touchdown to Tyreek to kind of start this game. And I think on Sam Howell's return possession, they try to throw the little screen pass. It gets intercepted. I think Andrew Van Ginkel, I think his name, I want to shout him out. He gets a pick 6 on that screen and runs it back. And so now you're down 14-0. 4 minutes into this game, and like I said, they just never really got a chance to get in it, because I think Miami they get another stop, they go down to get another score, and so I mean this game was pretty much over almost out the gate, and so just an ugly day all around for Washington.
Gotcha. All right, Willie Jack. Well, we're about halfway through the show, man. We still got a little bit of left. So before we do that, of course, we got to hit you with a little word from our sponsor, man, as we kind of
for sure.
Let y'all know what's going on real quick. So we'll be right back.
For sure.
Today's episode of Let the Film Speak, hosted by the wonderfully handsome and intelligent brothers of Let the Film Speak. That's Chop and your main man, Willie Jack. You feel me? Also brought to you by the 3 Amigos. Y'all know them and you love them, man. That's the 3 Amigos. That's like, that's share, that's subscribe. That's 3 the hard way. That's the 3-piece spicy. You cannot go wrong. Now, I say the same thing every week, so y'all can say it at home with me. I know y'all ready for it. Here we go. It's 3 Amigos, but it's 4 parts to this process, big dog. First, you just got to tap in. Like my dog said, man, come in, tap in. Just say what's up, man. Just holler. Hey, what's up, 3 Amigos, man? Like, share, subscribe. Hey, Chop, man. Willie, man, what's going on, man? It's cool. I sit on the couch. For sure. Y'all got some cold to drink? Oh, man, my man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. By the way, man, I'm a Broncos fan. That's all you got to do. That's it. That's easy. And Chop, come in, sit down, get comfortable. Get a cool adult beverage and let us know who you ride with, big dog. Then tell a friend. Like, man, that's a nice feeling here, ain't it? Man, it's cool, man. My homeboy was out. He was down. Man, it's cool. I can tell a friend. Tell a friend, man. And you know what? Even better than that, you can tell your friend to tell a friend. Guess what? There's more. You can tell your friend to bring his partner to. Bring one more because we need 4, man. Bring them up into the penthouse. Tapping with your dogs, man. Wednesdays at 7 o'clock. You know we don't wear no watches. We ain't got nowhere else to be but in here kicking football flavor with the fam. And now back to the regularly scheduled program.
All right. Well, let's kick off this next second half of the show, man. We're gonna kick off the second half of the show in Houston. If my dog Terrible Timer here, man, you need to say what's up, man.
Yeah, what's going on?
But the Denver Broncos, they went to Houston to take on the Texans, and the Texans come away with that W 22-17. The hard-fought win, man. Good game for them. A big win for them, what it turned out to be, as I talked about earlier, man. But they take care of business. Willie Jack, what was your take on this?
No, man, a good bounce back win, just like you said, for the Texans team, man, especially against a Broncos team that have been playing. I'm not gonna say they've been playing great, but they've been playing winning football. 5-0 over the last 5 weeks, especially with the ugly start that they got off to. So we've already kind of sung the praises of Sean Payton and that team, the way they kind of bounced back and settled into this season and got themselves back competitive. And so this was going to be a good task for this Texas team, like I said, coming off of a tough division loss to those Jaguars. And so now let's see you bounce back. You're at home against a very quality defense, like I said, for this last month and change of the season. And they did that, man. They came out and really kind of controlled this game to get us to the start. I want to say was it 13-0 at halftime? Or I want to say it was 13-0 or maybe 30 or maybe
it was 13-3 at half.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah. And so they came out in pretty good control of the game as far as the scoring goes. Now, Denver, to their credit, they do keep the lid on it. Like I said, CJ and those guys, they didn't run off and go crazy and run up the score. So they keep him in this game and keep it competitive. And then to the Broncos' credit, they do find a way to kind of get back in this game as it goes. But the story of this game for sure is got to be the Texans defense that stepped up and played a great game. Now against not a fantastic offense for the Broncos, but it is what it is. They played a great game in this one. They pick off Russell Wilson 3 times. And one thing we can say about Russell Wilson, good, bad, ugly, or otherwise, he's not generally the type of quarterback that turns the ball over in bunches in this way that we saw from this game. Like I said, 3 interceptions. Man, I don't know if I've ever seen this from Russell Wilson in the game. And then also, man, for the Texans, the guys making those key plays was the young core of that defense. Will Anderson has himself a day in this one. He has 2 sacks. Derek Stingley Jr., top cornerback prospect for them when he coming in. Top guy from LSU. We know the history. He had been on IR to start the bulk of this season. And I think this is, I want to say, maybe his 3rd game back, and he's been playing great since he's been back from injury. He has 2 of those interceptions against Russell Wilson in this game. And so big day there for those young guys. And this is just a young Houston Texans team, man, that just finding a way to play damn good ball, very competitive ball, winning football for the most part. And they're doing it on the back of such young players, which is so impressive. Will Anderson, 1st round, top 5 pick rookie. Derek Stingley in his 2nd year, missed almost the whole of this first year anyway, but 2nd year guy, 3 games to this 2nd season, he's got 2 picks. Nico Collins has a monster day in this game. 9 catches.
Nico Collins is for real now. Collins is for real now.
Man, look, and what's crazy is it's been a few, like he had a monster game. He's had a few monster games, and then some of these other younger guys or more kind of unheralded guys. Noah Brown's had a couple big games for them as well. And then sadly in this game, another rookie guy, Tank Dell, who was really kind of bursting onto the scene and making a name for himself, he goes down with a broken fibula in this game, and so he's actually going to be out for the season. But up until this point in the year, he had been a phenomenal find in this offense as well. And so just kudos to this Texas team one more time. D'Amico Ryans and that staff, and also shout out to the now I can't think of the guy, the GM that came over from Bill and the Patriots. Now I'm blanking on his name, but kudos to him as well for this young core, for this young roster and this core of players that are stepping up and making these plays that, like I said, that we didn't know. I could have told you Nico Collins. Now, I didn't know Nico Collins, Noah Brown before this. Now, I knew Tank Dell from the draft process, but Nico Collins wasn't the guy that's on my radar for this year. You know what I mean? And so kudos to those guys for putting this team together, and then also getting those guys up and ready to move and go. So Bobby Slowick, the offensive coordinator who came over with D'Amico Ryans from San Francisco, he's a young guy, his 1st year as an offensive coordinator now with the Texans, but seeing the impact that he's had so fast and with such a young team, he's another one of these guys that expect to hear his name in these coaching circles. We just said that the whole NFC North may be holding a job fair because everybody over there might be looking for a new guy. You know what I mean? And so he's another guy that to be on the lookout for to hear his name in those circles. But yeah, like I said, I'll close it up, man. Job well done for those Texans. The way this AFC playoff picture is unfolding, you've got Jacksonville losing to and we'll get to it, but losing to Cincinnati, led by their backup quarterback. Trevor Lawrence goes down in that game, and now he's not expected to miss substantial time, but he may miss some time. And so the Texans are in position right now to really kind of make some style of push and really get themselves into that playoff mix. They're right there on the cusp right now. And so this is definitely over these next, let's say, 2 to 3 weeks, especially depending on the timeline for Trevor Lawrence to get back and ready to go. Man, the Texans could make a push or make a move here into this playoff picture and even maybe in this division.
Absolutely, Willie Jack, and you touched on a lot of those different things that in terms of what happened in this particular game, and I pretty much want to echo a lot of the things that you said. And one of the people that I was going to point out was Nico Collins and his performance, because Tank Dell going out in this game, Tank Dell was a clear cut number 2, and the guy that also had been making a lot of the splash plays as well. But Nico Collins has been more of the consistent, down after down, number 1 wide receiver, and Tank Dell being more of that big play type of guy. And Nico Collins stepped up. When Tank Dell went out, it was like, okay, it's a Nico Collins show. And feed me the ball, and I'm gonna make it happen for you. 9 for 191, almost 200 yards in this game on 12 targets. So it wasn't just a game where we're just gonna load him with targets and he catches 50%, 60% of them. No, he's very efficient. 9 of 12 is very, very good performance, from a Nico Collins. And he showed that, hey, I'm the type of receiver you can put this team on my back, put the passing attack on my back, and we're gonna make it happen. CJ Stroud did enough to come away with the W in this game, and they did what they're supposed to do. And like you said, Willie Jack, the defense, they came in and played a hell of a game too. And it wasn't just the 3 sacks. So CJ Stroud was sacked 5 times in this game as well.
Oh yeah.
But Russell Wilson was sacked 3 times, but they had they put a lot of pressure on him. 8 QB total hits in this game. So they were really after him and causing them a lot of trouble and a lot of different situations. And man, it was a big time game, big time performance for the Houston team, and a huge win for them at home this week. So yeah, I'm with you there, Willie Jack. Definitely with you.
No doubt, man. Then our terrible time, man. Our resident Texas fan told you he been passing out that Texas Kool-Aid, man. He said this week's flavor is pink lemonade mixed with grape, but no sugars, ain't nothing sweet, man. He said, oh, Texas, he said, we ain't playing around no more, man. Ain't nothing sweet, and we here to play real deal ball, man. So y'all be on the lookout for them Texans.
Yeah, man, I just tasted the Kool-Aid this week. You know what I'm saying? Next week when we come around, if y'all make some, some of them little, just sandwiches, so just some, like little Subway.
Send me some hors d'oeuvres, man, little finger
you know what I'm
food,
saying?
Man.
I may taste that. I may taste that a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But I'm still easing my way in. Like we made it past the Kool-Aid, cool. You know what I mean? I'm getting a little bit more comfortable at the crib. You know what I'm saying? A little bit more comfortable. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? We're gonna work our way to the dressing. You know what I'm saying? That's the
man, Tom, I know you, man. Let my dog get a link or something, man. You know what I'm saying? Somebody get my dog a burger, man. Let him get comfortable.
Oh yeah, I do a burger. I do a burger for sure. You know what I'm saying? Link, ain't too many things you can do to mess up those. You know what I'm saying? But my goal is to get to the cooking. That's what I'm trying to get to, man. So we'll see, man. We got the week. We'll see how that goes.
For sure.
On to a divisional matchup, man. Speaking of the NFC. That we talked about earlier, man. We had the Carolina Panthers go to Tampa Bay to take on the Bucks, man. And the Bucks end up coming away with this W, man. The Bucks end up winning this game 21-18. And a good win for them. The Panthers recently, after firing their head coach, Frank Reich, this is the first game after that, they come out, and I was curious as to how they look. And one of the things that I mentioned was, this could be one of those games. You know how teams play after they lose their head coach, man. A lot of times they play with a lot of enthusiasm. They play with a lot of pride. And this was a close game, a very, very close game. And in fact, the Panthers came out and they went ahead, first thing in the third quarter of this particular game. And they went into halftime down 7-3 in a close game. And they came out and went ahead. And speaking of them, there's been at halftime, them being up 7-3, those guys that you mentioned, Willie Jack, all coming back in this particular game when I was hesitant about picking the Panthers. They all showed up, man. They showed up and they played very, very well. And this defense looked like a totally different team in this particular game. I think they gave up 30 points a couple times in the last few weeks. But this week, this defense showed up. They showed up and were playing very well. And they played well against everybody on that offense, except for your boy, man, Mike Evans, man. The one guy who, you said, Willie Jack, they were going to definitely throw at because they wanted to get him to that 1,000-yard mark. That 1,000-yard mark, which marked 10 straight years of over 1,000 yards for him. And makes for a very good career, man. A very good career, very consistent career, and just shows, man, that the guy is very, very.
And
No
and
matter
that
what, no
streak.
matter
Oh,
no
I'm
matter
sorry. I
what
was gonna say.
circumstance. Go ahead, you good. Go
Oh,
ahead.
you got okay. My fault. I was gonna say that streak is the second longest streak in NFL history, second only to Jerry Rice, and so that's a very impressive stat, man. If he's in a room with ain't nobody in that room but him and Jerry, so that's a very impressive stat, man. So it definitely deserves praise and kudos for sure.
For sure.
I
For
just want
sure.
to add
Yeah,
that in. My fault.
you good, man. But a very good year, and it just shows that he is. No matter what you put around him, no matter what situation you put him in, he can come out, flourish, and be good. He's been in good situations, he's been in bad situations, but regardless of the situation, he's going to be where he is. You know what I'm saying? And that's the type of player when I talked earlier about situations, he's been through numerous coaches, numerous quarterbacks, numerous partners in terms of receivers on the other side of him, numerous running games, offensive lines. Like, he's been through all of that. But through all of that, he's still shown his worth and still shown, like, I'm a consistent football player and this is what I do. You know what I'm saying? So kudos to him. And those are the type of players where I'm like, man, that's dope, man. I truly respect that, man. So kudos to him. I think he's pretty much punched his ticket, man, in terms of the getting in that room, man.
Ooh, and see that's one, and I was gonna go there as well with you, and so this is a perfect time. This is just as good a time as any. Shout out to our dog ZB, man. He said Mike Evans somehow still one of the most underrated superstars in this league every year, and see that's exactly what I was gonna get at, man, because he's a talented guy. He's a productive guy. I don't know if I want to say he's a superstar, because superstar, I mean, Brandon Cooks had a streak similar to this before. I think just before last year. I think he was at like 6,000-yard seasons, and I think he did it with like 5 different teams. But had 6 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons playing for 5 different teams over that span. And so I sometimes, because I don't know, because if Mike Evans, like, well, and I know me and you feel differently, but Torrey Holt's not in the Hall of Fame. He's an all-decade team member, a Super Bowl. Well, Mike Evans got a Super Bowl as well, but he's one of those guys, and he's not in. And so I don't know, man. I don't know realistically, like, how that'll go. When we see the waiting room to get in when you're a receiver. It's some guys in that room right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, Reggie Wayne still waiting in that room. Hines Ward waiting in that room. Antonio Brown is probably going to be forced to wait in that room. And who knows if they'll actually let him in, whether deservedly or so or not. But there's tons of guys in that room, man. And then I think about it as, I mean, I just don't know, man. I just don't know how I feel about this, because he's a tremendous receiver for sure. But man, Gold Jacket, one of the greatest of all time, in the same conversation with T.O., with Randy Moss, with with these guys. I still don't know, man. Like, where does he stack up for you against a guy like, say, Steve Smith, or a guy like I don't know, man. I'm just thinking about some of these other guys as contemporaries, and
it's a good debate, Willie Jack, because I understand where you're coming from. And I was waiting till you spoke on this, because I was curious to know where you were going to go with it.
yeah.
But and here's another thing. The reason why I was curious to know where you were going to go with it, because we had a conversation about another guy kind of similar to him, but just a different position. You know what I'm saying?
Here it is. Come on.
In terms of his longevity. So I was curious to know where he was going to go with it. But we talked about Frank Gore. Okay. We talked about Frank Gore. And I believe that these two guys are very similar, because I agree with you. I never put Mike Evans in the superstar club. You know what I'm saying? He had a couple of good seasons, but I think he was like just one of those guys, a consistent all-star, consistent all-star. But I don't think anybody ever viewed him as top 5 at his position at any point in his career. You know what I'm saying? There was always at least 5 guys that were better than him. Now, he's had some top 5 type years, maybe a couple in there, but nobody ever viewed him as that, you know what I'm saying, consistently throughout his career. And you're right, Willie Jack. And you, as you were talking, you made me think about it in a sense where the wide receiver position is much different from the running back. I think it's more of a feat to, more of an accomplishment to play as long as Frank Gore did at the running back position than it is for Mike Evans at the wide receiver position. Now, don't get me wrong, producing 1,000 yards a year is only one other guy ever did it. You know what I'm saying?
For this long, Jared,
especially when it's on way, but just the natural wear and tear, and when you comparing a running back to a wide receiver, I think could be the difference in why Frank Gore can get in and why Mike Evans has to wait, because their waiting room consists of a lot of the guys that you just mentioned that's going to be waiting, whereas their running back room wasn't as heavy, you know what I'm saying, or it's not as heavy for Frank Gore on his way to that. So that's where my thoughts are with that as of right now.
No, and I'm glad ZB brought this up, man. And I've seen a graphic that's been floating around, and I haven't posted it yet, and I don't know why. But when you compare Davante Adams, because Davante Adams is a receiver that we'll say is a superstar, you know what I mean? Like, and so there's a clear difference in how Davante's viewed versus Mike Evans. But when you pull up their career numbers, line for line, stat for stat, Mike Evans has better careers. If it's a blind A and B career, you don't know who's who. Mike Evans has the better numbers and the better career. And this is exactly why the name of this show is Let the Film Speak, and why my stance has been what it is on players like Frank Gore and players like, name them, XYZ, because the numbers can't tell me the whole story. Who were you when you played? So when it's all said and done, Mike Evans is going to be remembered as a guy. He's going to have, I think right now I think the only thing that maybe Davante has more of than Mike Evans may be catches, but it's also the way that Mike Evans is used in an offense and his skill set versus Davante, because Davante is more so a guy that's a little more volume and a little more in the intermediate parts of the field, where Mike Evans has always been a big body, go get it guy up the field. And so he's got more yards, he's got more touchdowns, he's got more yards per catch on average. And I think these guys, they came into the league, I want to say roughly the same time, or maybe within 1 year of each other. But if you just pull up the blind stats, and I told you to pick a career, 90% of us, if we don't know that the other guy's Davante, 90% of us are going to go with Mike Evans' career. Well, then if I show you the names, ain't no way in hell you want to be Mike Evans if you had the chance to be Davante Adams. And only one of those guys is the champion, because I don't think Davante was on that Super Bowl team where Rodgers and those guys beat my Steelers. And if he was on that team, he wasn't a guy on that team, because that was still Jordy Nelson and Greg, you know what I'm saying? And so he wasn't a guy on that team if he was on it, but I don't even think he was. So one of those guys is the champion, and if we blind their numbers, everybody would choose Mike Evans until I told you that the guy you're choosing against is Davante Adams. And so that's exactly why a guy like Frank Gore for me isn't a Hall of Famer, because it's got to be deeper than the number. I need the context. I need to know you were a guy. You know what I'm saying? You were a guy. You were the guy. You know what I'm saying? That's why a guy like Terrell Davis, for me, I can accept Terrell Davis as a Hall of Famer, but I still, in my mind, I'd be hesitant to call Frank Gore a Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not worried about how long you did it. What'd you do with the time when you did? I mean, you still have to cross certain thresholds for sure, but I don't need you to play. I don't need 4 extra padded years on the back of Terrell Davis's career just to say he played 10 or 11 and now he's a Hall of Famer. Now, when he was here, what did he do at the time he had? Well, he was a 2-time Super Bowl champion, an NFL MVP, a Super Bowl MVP, and he broke 2,000 yards. He had a career's worth of stats that Frank Gore in 15 years can't sniff. So, you know what I mean? That's kind of where I be landing on that. But that's what I said, man. That's interesting, man. You think you would give Mike Evans a gold jacket, dog?
I mean,
this isn't meant to be a knock. You're not a knock against Mike Evans. We've both credited him with being like our dog ZB said, talk about a guy that gets forgot or left out. All he does is produce. We've gave him those flowers. But man, you think you'd give him a gold jacket, dog?
I would, because of just the feat in itself. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's certain things. It's certain things that makes each player special. You know what I'm saying? Like you just talked about with Terrell Davis. You know what I mean? It wasn't his. He didn't have you have those traditional guys where they had like the long. They had the career worth of stuff, and it's like they had the peaks too. They had checked all the marks. But then you got those specialty guys, those guys where they get in because of, special things. Kurt Warner's, you know what I'm saying? He didn't have the long-lasting career of everything. He had the two splash, not 2 splash years, but the 2 splash little runs, one with the Cardinals, one with the Rams. You know what I'm saying? But it's overall.
I'm gonna let you get, because I love that point, but I want to point out, because I know you're gonna get some hate about that Kurt Warner situation. I want to say we can't tell it's difficult to tell the story of the NFL without Kurt Warner. That Greatest Show on Turf was a revolutionary point in football. Like it's a you know what I'm saying? It's one of those hard dates in football, that time period. And that was Kurt Warner. That was a 26-year-old rookie Kurt Warner. He was bagging groceries at Gerbs before Trent Green goes down, and now he's your 26-year-old rookie starter who goes and wins an NFL MVP and Super Bowl. Like, that's historic. That's an historical feat. So yeah, before I felt that somebody's gonna come for you. Y'all not gonna do my dog like that. Kurt put in his time, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but I'm saying you have those special cases, and Kurt Warner was one of them. Terrell Davis was one of them, and I'm pretty sure there's a few other guys that are in there that I can't think
Gale
of.
Sayers is one of those guys.
Yeah, like it's a few guys that are in the Hall of Fame because of a special circumstances or because of a specialty. And I think, to me, Frank Gore and Mike Evans are both two of those guys. Mike Evans, because this is a level of consistency. You know, the consistency that he's had. Like it's not just, you know, him being good, but just him being good every single year, no matter who's around him, like no matter what, like nothing's changed. He's been consistent. Like, and I think, to me, that's the difference between him and a guy like Mike, Devontae Adams. You know, I would pick Devontae Adams all day, every day.
We all would. That's what I'm saying. We all would.
When we look at that, and I think that, to your point, Willie Jack, it's this. Do I want a guy that's going to be consistent every year to give me 1,100, 1,000, 1,200? Like 1,100 was probably what he stuck around. 1,100, you know, very consistent, you know, above average.
Bro,
but
three or four of those years for Mike Evans, his nose is across 1,000. One of those years is 1,001, 1,005. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. But no, dude, you make it, boy, you cooking right now. Go do your thing. I like what you're saying.
Yeah. So like, it's like, do you want that consistency, or and do you want this receiver who's like, you know, he's gonna be reliable, you know, he's gonna give you, or whatever the case may be, or do you want this guy over here where he's the guy? You can't play him one-on-one. He is a game changer. He is going to roll coverage. They're going to have to double coverage him. He's so dangerous that they're going to have to double cover him and search. Now, that's not saying that Mike Evans doesn't get double covered, but the impact of the players on the game is different. You know what I'm saying? In terms of how you go into a game. So that's the difference in there. And, you know, you look at the numbers and all that type of stuff. But yeah, like you said, Willie Jack, you made a point, man. Let the film speak. That's what it is.
Hey, you got to, and then our dog ZB, he came back with another good comment, man. He said he's also caught some passes for performing quarterbacks, man. Mike Glennon, Josh Freeman, man, the list gets worse than that. You know what I'm saying? Kyle Trask threw him some of them catches and passes. You know what I'm saying? And that's outside of Baker and Jameis and some of the other guys that we know. And so when you say that, it really puts me in the mind of one of my favorites, man. And my dog Chop will tell y'all, this is OG Chop and Willie debates back in the day, back in the gap. You feel me? Andre Johnson, Houston, Texas, very own. My dog Tom's in the building, bro. I was a huge Andre Johnson fan, and Andre Johnson had to catch passes from guys like this. Andre Johnson's list may be comparable or worse than the quarterbacks that Mike Evans has. And so I was a big proponent and big defender of Andre Johnson. And the same thing, man, Andre Johnson's in that room. And now if I had to think, like, am I ready to say that Mike Evans is a better receiver than Andre Johnson? I don't think I am. And I don't know if Andre Johnson's going to get in. And so for me, if Andre's not getting in, I don't know if I can.
Mike can't get in, huh?
Not for me. Not for me, dog. Like, realistically, you know what I'm saying, man. I wanted Andre Johnson to. I wanted him to get his ass out of Houston so bad, man. So he was a guy like an AJ Green for me. You know what I mean? Like, man, like he's a guy that's just a real stud, but his circumstance maybe doesn't let him be the type of star that he could have been. Hey, my dog Miles in here, man. Miles must have heard me preaching on my soapbox for Andre Johnson, but I was a huge Andre Johnson guy. You know what I'm saying? And then my dog Tom, then he said Frank Gore was the guy. Tom, I got ammo for this one, bro. If you can do your name, yeah, Chop had some knockdown drag outs with Frank Gore, dog. You can't say Frank, because Frank Gore played so long. We got to look at the guys that he played through. You know what I'm saying? Because Frank Gore goes back to Clinton Portis. You know what I'm saying? Like, Frank Gore was Clinton Portis, rookie LT's time. He's still there for Adrian Peterson, Marshawn Lynch. Bro, there's a good solid 7, arguably in his timeline, there's probably 7 guys that I think we could realistically say were just better players. I'm not talking about the career like the career longevity stats, but prime for prime, this player against that player. I'm not taking him over prime Clinton Portis. Clinton Portis, excuse me, went like 1,400 yards for like 5 straight seasons. Clinton Portis was an amp. Clinton Portis is probably one of the more underrated or forgotten backs in this league, bro, for what he really was in Denver, and then went to Washington and was still a dog. Like, man, it's some guys that we just wouldn't realistically, or at least I can't put Frank Gore ahead of, you know what I'm saying, just because of the you know, it's a great feat to play until you're 53. I mean, that's cool, but when was you the guy at any one of them points? I can't ever say. I couldn't put them against those guys in their primes when everybody was on the field together. I'm not going to take Frank Gore ahead of some of those guys. Jeremy Shockey. And as far as Hall of Fame credentials, no, he didn't do it. Time isn't the only thing, but he didn't do it for enough. I think Shockey was a difference maker on that first Giants team that made that first Super Bowl run. Was he on that one? Shockey was a guy. He was a little ahead of his time a little bit as well. Shockey was like a poor man's Kittle was kind of how his game was. He was super physical. You know what I'm saying? Super physical. He ran like a damn bulldozer. I liked Shockey. You know what I'm saying? He came in from a good pedigree coming in from Miami, athletic guy. He was, like I said, he was a little before his time, man. Shockey is a guy. If Shockey got to do it again, I think we look at him similar to kind of how we see George Kittle. Okay, he said he got 2 rings. Okay, yeah, I knew. I couldn't remember if he was on there for that second one. I know he was on that first Giants Super Bowl run, but I wasn't sure if he was around for that second one. But no, okay, so 2. Oh, that's a good point. Jeremy Shockey's a 2 Super Bowl champion. He did have a moment in the sun in the league where he was recognized, but I still don't think he wasn't Jason Witten. He wasn't Brent Selleck. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking production. Now, he wasn't Brent Selleck, he wasn't Dallas Clark. He didn't have, but he had injuries. He was banged up, and so that comes into play as well.
Two-time Super Bowl champ for a guy like Jeremy Shockey doesn't mean anything to me. Like you can't use 2-time Super Bowl champ for a guy who wasn't one of the leading causes of their Super Bowl, like who wasn't one of the catalysts of their team to help them win. They could have won a Super Bowl without Jeremy Shockey. They didn't need Jeremy Shockey for that Super Bowl.
I mean, yeah, it was definitely a defensive led team for sure. Strahan and Umenyiora and Justin Tuck. You know what I'm saying? They had a real 3-headed monster, man, on that defensive line. Antonio Pierce, that linebacker, shout out to him, man. Like I said, the interim coach right now for the Raiders, and got those guys playing well. So that defense has some pretty stout guys. Tiki Barber, Plexico Burris, you know what I'm saying? Those are kind of the leaders of this team on offense. He had Eli Manning falling asleep or drooling on himself, you know what I'm saying, finding a way to make 2 plays a year, and they just happen to be the 2 biggest plays in the damn Super Bowl history. But, you know, it is what it is. But no, we'll come back to that, man, because like I said, man, we can, those are interesting conversations. I love having those type of talks anyway, man. So, but yeah, man, we'll, Shockey with the 4 Pro Bowls? I knew he had like I said, I knew he had a little run in the sun, but yeah, man, I'm gonna look back into Shockey. Right off the top of my head, though, if you're asking me, my answer would be no. I wouldn't say he's a Hall of Famer right off the top of my head, but I need to go back and probably revisit what he did though. But like I said, I do remember he had a little run in the sun. I didn't think it was a 4-year run. If you'd told me it was a 2 or 3-year run, I'd be like, okay, yeah. But I didn't realize
that boy was in the league the same time as Antonio Gates.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like there was
TG. TG was still hanging around.
Exactly,
hey, man. Y'all better hold on. Them was the guys in the league. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, but let's keep on moving, man. We done got to talking about Hall of Fame, man. Y'all almost got me and Willie Jack in our old bag, man.
They did, didn't they? Matter of fact, oh yeah, no, and it's your time to sign. Go ahead and do your thing, my dog.
You know I'm gonna shine. You know I'm gonna shine. Next game, man. We got the Cleveland Browns. They went to Los Angeles to take on the Rams, man. Hey man, y'all better stop playing with Sean McVay, man. That's all. Y'all better stop playing with Sean McVay, man, and what that boy be cooking up and what he be doing to these teams, man. This is the number 1 defense in the league, ain't it, Willie Jack? Ain't it?
I mean, I thought it was. I thought it was.
Statistically, man, stop playing with Sean McVay, man. They win this game 36-19 at home. And hey man, offenses just can't do what we do, man. Over 400 yards. You know what I'm saying? 3 touchdowns for Stafford. You know, a touchdown, another touchdown for Kyron Williams. Hey, man, it was just a walk in the park. You know what I'm saying? It was what it was when it was what it was. You know what I mean? So my dogs, the Rams came out, they handled business, man. And honestly, it wasn't all just smooth throughout this entire game, man. It took for us to find different ways to try to get things going. And it wasn't Cooper Kupp. It was almost Puka and Coop. We almost getting to the point where we can say some Puka and Coop, man, but it wasn't quite there yet. But overall, a very, very clean game played by the Los Angeles Rams, man. We were able to do what we needed to do in this game. We protected very, very well, which was surprising to me. 0 sacks in this game. You know, even with Myles Garrett playing. So for me, just being honest about the situation, it makes me feel like he was still dealing with that injury, especially being a game time decision. I think he was trying to give it a go because their team is still in playoff contention and trying to stay there. But, you know, it's only so much that they can do, and only so much that he could do in this particular game. And so they struggled in this one. Joe Flacco still didn't look bad, though. They protected Joe Flacco a little well. We know he's a sitting duck in the pocket. He didn't look bad. He showed some things in this game to make me believe that they still have an opportunity. They still have a chance to make some things happen in this AFC and hold on to that spot. So I'm curious to see what he continues to look like as the season goes along. He's still learning a little bit more about the playbook, and they still are able to do what they do. I still think their defense is going to play well in most games. You know, I think this one was just rough for him. This one was just rough, a different style of offense. And we were ready to take advantage. Puka Nacua, good day for him, man. 4 for 105 and a touchdown. I already talked about Cooper Kupp getting in the end zone too, man. And it looks like we have on offense the perfect balance for us to do what we need to do and score the points that we need to score each and every game. You know, and honestly, I'm not saying that we are the best or the most prolific offense, but I am saying that there's not a defense that we couldn't find a way to put a few points up on a board on them. You know what I mean? And not 30. We're not going to come out and score 30. But I think there's some defenses with what we have on offense and the differences in like the schemes that we can set up and the playmakers that we have. We can find a way to put up some points. As long as Stafford continues to play football, we can do that. And then our defense too, man. Our defense has been playing solid too. You know, even with how young we are, we've been holding teams to less than 20 points. You know, so I like what we got going on, man, and we got an opportunity to fight for a wild card spot.
No, for sure. No doubt. And surprisingly, so I didn't see this coming for y'all. If you remember at the beginning of the year, I thought y'all was going to be a top 5 draft position team going into this year, man. And definitely prove me wrong, bro. I like I said, what, 6-6, and now what's the NFC playoff picture look like? The West is so
as of right now, I can tell you right now because I already had it kind of pulled up. So as of right now in the NFC. Of course, we got the division winners the division leaders in the Eagles, 49ers, Lions, and Falcons. And in the wild card spots, as of right now, we got Cowboys, Vikings are still there, and we got the Packers. You know what I'm saying? But see, the Vikings and Packers are both at 6-6. So right behind them, the Rams are at 6-6. Seattle's at 6-6. You know what I mean? So and then kind of lurking in the rings, we don't have much confidence in them. But Tampa Bay and New Orleans are at 5-7. I don't know how much confidence we have in them, but like the 3 6-6 teams, well, 4 6-6 teams fighting for that 6 and 7 seed in the NFC right now.
Gotcha. And no, I'm not gonna lie, man. I like y'all chances just as good as any. And I think probably the Packers out of that group are probably the hottest team right now. You know what I mean? But outside of them, man, I think you guys are probably right there. But no, as far as this game goes, no, Joe Flacco played damn good in this game. You know what I mean? This is a very competitive game until I think you guys put up later fourth quarter touchdowns to kind of spread it out. I think there was a point in this game where it was tied up, Cleveland missed the extra point. Or is it a field? No, yeah, they missed the extra point, I think, which would have made it 20-20 instead of 2019. In
the fourth quarter.
Yeah. And then you guys rally off a couple touchdowns in that fourth quarter after that point and kind of spread this out. But just like you said, that was a very competitive game. And Flacco, like I said, damn near touching 40, pulled off the couch. Didn't necessarily look great the last couple times we had seen him with the Jets. And like I said, he was more than serviceable. 44 passes in his first game action all year at this point in the year, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns in this game as well. And so, no, definitely they still found a way to compete. Kyron Williams, man, a still productive workman-like day, 20 carries, 88 yards, but does get a touchdown. And to your credit, or to you guys' credit, like you said, you guys are finding a multitude of ways to, it's not just one thing you guys are doing. Like back in the day, I remember when McVay first got over there, if you stop Todd Gurley, you stop the Rams. And then, we get some further development and we get Robert Woods and your boy Cup, like, and we get some more stuff going now. And so now it kind of balances itself back out. And so now there's no real star that's leading the way. Cooper Kupp's he's a star from what he's done, but he's coming off an injury and he hasn't regained that the level of play that he was at. And without that, you guys still put up 36 points on what has been probably the best defense in the league to this point. And so that is a credit to McVay, man, and what he's got going on over there. So I can't hate on it.
Absolutely, Willie Jack. And well, yeah, man. Let's keep on pushing, man. Let's get to the game of the week, man. I know y'all been in here waiting, man. We appreciate y'all for waiting patiently for us, man. But let's go ahead and get to the game of the week. We had the San Francisco 49ers, or what was supposed to be the game of the week. The San Francisco 49ers go to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles, man. And they put a whooping on them boys. 49ers win this one on the road, 42-19. Willie Jack, talk to me, bro.
I'm gonna tell you right now, San Francisco talked it. They went to Philly and walked it, boy. And they had this game. So this game been on their mind since January. You know what I mean? And it showed. They showed up. Debo came in there with his black forces on. I seen the Niners players walking through the Eagles warm-ups. That's the stuff we used to do in high school, you know what I'm saying? Maybe in college a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Walk through each other's drills. That's super disrespectful. Anybody who play ball, and I'm talking about they just, y'all doing DB? They was doing wave drill. They was doing DB. Y'all wave drilling? Beep y'all wave drill. Man, they put about 12 dudes through that drill, and a couple went back and forth like they was on all of that. You know what I mean? So they came there definitely with it on their mind to not only get that look back, but prove a point. Because since January, since that game in which they lost that NFC Championship game in which Brock Purdy goes out early, then they don't stand a chance. There's been a lot of back and forth, especially these couple of weeks, but they truly felt like, and Debo said it, if Brock doesn't get hurt, that game's not close. And this is a game they lost that game by what, three scores? And Debo and a lot of teams say, okay, yeah, y'all got us right here. If Brock's here, the game's not close. And then what do? You go on the road, you go out there, you put yourself in a hole if you don't show up to play. And they came out their own business, bro, and put it on them. Brock Purdy delivered in this game. 19 for 27, 314 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions in this game. C-Mac did what he needed to do. 93 on the ground, 1 touchdown, another 40 in the air. Debo Samuels, the man of the hour, Mr. Black Forces himself, 4 for 116, 2 touchdowns. Also another 20 on the ground, a rushing touchdown as well. He took that last touchdown, I think was 50 to the crib on that tunnel screen they threw him. So just anything offensively they wanted, they got in this game. And to the Eagles' credit, there was a couple points. They were down in the game, but every time they did score or something, San Francisco answered immediately and answered in devastating fashion. You know what I'm saying? Like Philly would find a way to like drive and score and get when they need to maybe try to keep it within 2 scores or whatever. And then it feels like San Francisco would get the ball like, okay, yeah, that's cute. And 3 more plays, we right back up. And you know what I'm saying? They just kept answering and answer with just with force and authority. And honestly, it was they were just clearly just flat out the better team. There's no other way to say it. Just flat out the better team in all aspects of this game. You know what I mean? And so definitely went out there, had it on their mind to do it, man, and they handled business. So big win on the road and kind of really solidified or reestablished themselves outside of that 3-game skid, really kind of established themselves like, nah, we still that. Like, yeah, we took our foot off the gas, or yeah, y'all caught us slipping in Cleveland a little bit. We was a little banged up. It was a little wet outside. Yeah, Brock started thinking he was patty cakes a little bit. Yeah, we talked to him. He's chilling now. You know what I'm saying? He throw his 4 touchdowns while he colors inside the lines, and we good. You know what I'm saying? But they really got back to where they were and reestablished themselves. Like, don't let the seeding fool you. Yeah, they 10-1, but we run this. This is our NFC, and this is about to be our league when the time comes. And so, yeah, big win for those Niners.
Gotcha. And the same, man. I'm echoing everything that you're saying, Willie Jack. But this is what I was saying about this game. And in order for the San Francisco to win this game, they did exactly what I feel like they needed to do, was get ahead and stay ahead. When Philadelphia comes back, they try to put pressure on you. You got to apply pressure back. You know what I'm saying? So if they do score, you know what you got to do? You got to go down and score and continue to play ahead. You know, and that's what they were able to do. As Philadelphia was scoring 7 or 6, you know, in those quarters, from the second, third, and fourth quarter, 49ers scored 14 points apiece in each of those quarters.
Yeah, they did.
And they kept the pressure on the Philadelphia Eagles, and they stayed ahead. It was no slowing up. We no coasting. No, we got to continue to be at these guys' throat, because if we don't, they're going to come back. They're going to make it this a game, and we don't want this to be a game. We want to make a statement here, and that's what they came out to do. As you can see by the play of their leader, man, Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel on offense, it was what we're used to seeing from Deebo when Deebo's in his bag. It's not the crazy route running. It's not the, you know, big one-handed catches. Nah, it's Deebo catching the ball, a couple tacklers bouncing off of him, finishing runs at the end of the plays, and then using his speed and explosiveness to make the big-time plays to put the team on his back, man. And that's what we saw from Deebo Samuel, those big-time plays and showing up. And then you mix in a little bit of everybody else and what they do as well. Man, this team is hard to beat when they're playing like this. And then on top of that, you got Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy is the key. You know what I'm saying? He's the one steering the steering wheel. You know what I'm saying? We got the wheels, you got the engine, you know, you put all that together, but the guy steering the car has to be on point as well. Got to know where you're going. And he did this game. He handled his business, like you said, colored inside the lines. And with him being able to do that, they were able to come away with the W. On the other side of that, for the Philadelphia Eagles, and for anybody out there that's listening, I don't want y'all to overreact, okay? Don't overreact from this game, all right? Because these teams, there's a good chance these teams might see each other again. There's a good chance they're going to see each other again.
They probably should see each other again, yeah.
When they see each other again, don't be surprised if it's a different story. You know what I'm saying? Don't be surprised and in the way that this game looks when it come playoff time. You know what I'm saying? They dominated this game. Ain't going to be no domination the second half. The second game is going to be to the end, you know what I'm saying? So I would put something on that one, but yeah, man.
Okay.
This particular game were the better team, and yeah, man, they come away and they handle business on the road. They back it up, Willie Jack. They
definitely do. And there's another thing as well. This may be the first time in recent memory, and I'm trying to think if there's been another game in which we could probably say that the Eagles' offensive line got handled. They didn't win the line of scrimmage in this game. You know what I'm saying? Like, they couldn't. And I went ahead and double checked the stats. I think Philly rushed the ball. They only rushed the ball. They only had 18 rushes in this game total, and I don't think they totaled 50 yards. And that's just not a winning recipe for a Philadelphia Eagles team. Everything for that Eagles offense specifically, and on their defense as well, it all starts in the trenches. It all starts up front. And this is a game in which they couldn't impose their will on the other team's defensive line and bleed it to that front seven. They couldn't do that. They couldn't establish that dynamic run game with the RPOs and all these things. They had a little tush push in there. Tush push made its presence felt. They get in the end zone on one of those. And you know what? When they did that tush push for that touchdown, I like it because it was like goal to goal from the 3, and they get 2 tush pushes in a row. That right there is statement football, because the tush push, for as successful as it is, it's not a 3-yard successful play. You still have to be within a yard and a half. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even 2 yards in the right circumstance. 3 yards that's about.
You pushing it.
Yeah, but the reason they did it though is because, and they did it on second and third down, so they didn't. You know, it was. That's how I know it was calculated, because it was at a point in the game in which we're slowing the tempo. This is us making a point to really kind of reestablish ourselves, reestablish our physicality, and they could have used that as a starting point to kind of maybe start to turn that tide when they get that. I think that was the third quarter touchdown they got for Jalen Hurts on that, the 2 tush pushes in a row. They get it. San Francisco comes right back, and then 50 yards later, Debo Sanders is going to the house. You know what I'm saying? Like that, and that's what I'm saying. Like every time Philly tried to have a moment in which they would come back and score, San Francisco took it in stride and answered right now. You know what I'm saying? It's like trading shots with Mike Tyson. Oh, yeah, that was a good one. Now lay down when I hit you with this one, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I felt. Like, it doesn't matter what you threw at me. You can't return the same fire that I'm returning back as far as those Niners go. And so, yeah, it was a very impressive win, man. Good comments, man. We're going to have to start picking up time. I know it. ZB said the Eagles been in survival mode all year, and they finally couldn't escape one. That's a very good comment because we've heard that a lot from a lot of people, and we've said it ourselves. If you think about it, Chop, like we've talked about it, like, yeah, they're 10-1. It still don't look the same. It still don't feel the same. And the way they're finding ways to win these games is different. And so that, and then like I said, man, maybe this is the game in which that kind of ran out. And then he had one more one to put up. He said Debo's kind of the heart of that team, and their only struggles this year is when he's been out. Another very astute point. That 3-game stretch was when Debo went out, starting with that Cleveland game, and then those subsequent games after that. So very good comments from my dog ZB.
Absolutely. On to the next one, Willie Jack. We had the Kansas City Chiefs go to Green Bay to take on the what's up?
Well, my fault. I was trying to take down that comment, but I didn't know you was already taking it down. My fault.
I was just putting the next one up. You good?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, the Chiefs, they go to Green Bay to take on the Packers, and the Packers win this one 27-19. First and foremost, before we jump into this game, Willie Jack, I got to give a shout out to ZB, to Zach the Mac, man, because if you don't remember, he came in the chat and he said the Packers was going to win this one.
That was ZB.
He said 27-20. So he was a point off with the Chiefs score, man. But he was on point in terms of calling this game, and the Packers end up winning it, man. And now I can talk my stuff a little bit, Willie Jack. You know what I'm saying? They put a few wins together, so I can talk to you about Matt LaFleur, man. I can talk to you about Matt LaFleur, man, and how I was telling you, man, that boy is a top 10 coach in this league, man. That boy know what he's doing. And as of right now, it's starting to show. And it's not just him. It's a lot of things put together. But the if you look at it and the way that they've been playing, it takes a coach to really bring his team back together and kind of turn this ship around. You know what I'm saying? And to start playing better ball. Now, don't get me wrong, they're still 6-6. They got a long way to go. But to be able to get them to this point with how bad they looked in a few of those games is big. He's got, I don't know if it's him solely responsible for it, but he's got Jordan Love looking like, okay, the Packers may not have missed. You know what I mean? Jordan Love went through his struggles during the first portion of the season. Well, actually, he had like the first couple games he played pretty solid, and then he went through a rough stretch. But then now he's got Jordan Love back playing like, yeah, they're gonna continue this. They're gonna continue this stretch they've been going between Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. Now, I'm not saying Jordan Love's a Hall of Famer. You know, so I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is he's looking like a competent quarterback as of right now. He's playing some really, really good ball. He got touch. His eyes, man. That's one of the things that I see with him. In terms of his QB play that stand out the most, his ability to scan the field from left to right, back to left, and be able to manipulate defenses, move safeties, move linebackers to hit the throws he needs to hit is getting better each and every week. And then the touch on top of that and the balls that he throw, you know, makes it that much better. It's certain quarterbacks I still see to this day in the field that don't know when or when not to put a certain amount of touch on balls when they're making these throws, you know, but he's showing that already. So if he can continue to put all those different things together, I think he'll be good. And then the weapons that they have, I think I like the combination if it all comes together of between Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, and Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed is a speedster. We know Christian Watson and Christian Watson is a number one guy, and then Romeo Doubs is more of their guy that can really go up and get it and make plays. And I kind of view him very, very similar to like a guy like Allen Robinson. You know what I'm saying? Not Allen Robinson, 1,300-yard Allen Robinson, but a guy like Allen Robinson that can kind of go up and get it if you need a guy, you know, to get a possession on a key third down situation. He got some good, strong, reliable hands. So I like what they have in terms of the weapons on the outside. And the Chiefs, man, the Chiefs continue their struggle. I'm sorry, I'm going to get out of here, Willie Jack.
No, do you think?
Continue their struggles on offense, not able to do much against this Packers defense, man. And the guys in Rashawn Gary and those guys up front were really able to get after Patrick Mahomes, which is very rare. You don't see Patrick Mahomes getting sacked a lot. Got sacked 3 times in this game and 7 QB hits, man. So they really bothered Patrick Mahomes in this offense and really slowed those guys. They weren't able to do too much, man. So big win for the Green Bay Packers and the Kansas City Chiefs trying to slow down a little bit, man. They got some things to work on and things to fix within this offense.
No, and honestly, man, and just like you said, man, I think this game, kudos to the Packers defense. Patrick Mahomes, good, bad, ugly, or otherwise, Patrick Mahomes had 6 points in the first half of this game. You know what I'm saying? So and now it is on the road. It is what it is. But even still, that just speaks to the greatness of Patrick Mahomes. That even with they're professional players. Even with professional receivers like MVS and Jalen Watson and other guys who just don't like catching the ball. Even with all that, it's still an accomplishment to hold a Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid led offense to 6 points in the first half, and just to make it as tough as they did on him, just like you said. And so, and then shout out to you, dog, to Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love. And it sounded as if in my comment didn't come on here. Where is it at? Here we go. And so I think you kind of answered this while you were talking there, but ZB had put in there, has Love earned himself another year. And kind of like my dog Chop was saying, man, it started out a little rocky because if we remember earlier in the year when the Packers were finding ways to win, but Jordan Love was like turning it. He had like this run of games in which he just showed up and like it'd be one quarter in which he was lights out, and then 3 other quarters were just terrible. And it happened to be the fourth quarter in a couple games or a third quarter in which he put together 2 scoring drives, and that was kind of the difference, but he hadn't really put it all together. And then now it seems here lately, especially after the bye week, they've really kind of gotten the lab and kind of tweaked or fine-tuned whatever it is, and he's been playing a world away. I don't want to overdo it, but he's been playing substantially better coming off that bye, and I think that's in no small part to your dog Matt LaFleur as well. It just shows his chops or his pedigree. To, like I said, man, that we see the improvement that we have seen, and then with the more consistent play of Jordan Love, they're winning games. Jordan Love was dealing in this game, man. 25 for 36, 267 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. And so, I mean, those are Aaron Rodgers stats. No. Aaron might have been like 31 for 30, whatever. But you get what I'm saying? Like these are the type of games and performances that this team in this town in Green Bay and Packers fans are used to. Like this is what they expect. A guy that goes out there, moves the ball consistently, stability, doesn't turn the ball over. AJ Dillon has a pretty solid day on the ground, 18 for 73. Man, if my dog Tom's in here, man, Baby Mouse, Christian Watson, he's really kind of coming into his own here lately. He's putting together some pretty good performances and has a big day, 7 for 71 and 2 touchdowns in this game. And so excellent play there. Now, the elephant in the room in this game, man. Shout out to my dog ZB. The officiating on the final drive. I'm glad somebody posted about it because this is definitely where I was going to go. Terrible isn't the word. You know what I'm saying? It was horrendous. It starts, so the Chiefs are down, etc. We know what's going on. Patty's scrambling up the right sideline and gets smoked. He takes a shot now. It was a good shot by Jesse Owens, the guy who's married to Simone Biles. I found that out. So shout out to you, boy. But hey, you fell upstairs, boy. That's what Coach Forty say, boy. You found a way to fall upstairs, boy. Hey, kind of shout out to you, boy. Yeah. But so yeah, he hits Patrick Mahomes on the sideline inbounds. And they get a flag. Patty gets a call. So they get and I want to say, I don't know if that was a 4th down play. No, it may have been a 3rd down play because it was right at the line for a 1st down, but I think it was going to be just short. So it's going to be a 4th and short. Maybe they go for it. Maybe they don't. You know, whoever at this time. No, they would have had to go for it, but it's 4th and short. And so if you don't get that 4th and short, now the game's over right now before we even get to the rest of the shenanigans that happen in this game. But they give Patty you know what I'm saying? Patty gets the superstar flag. That's what it was.
Home cooking.
No,
well, actually, they ain't homecoming. They ain't homecomings. Yeah, superstar cooking. We give some superstar cooking.
That superstar cooking. You know what I'm saying? That's a LeBron call. You know what I'm saying? He gets a LeBron call. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So he gets it. And so now we get that. It's automatic 1st down to get it up 15 more yards. And now that puts him at midfield. And so I hated that call because I saw on the live, I thought it was good. He was approaching the line, but he didn't get out because the same way that I saw, and I'm glad not during the game, but I saw somebody put a mashup or a clip, a splice of the hit that Patty got where he got that call, and then the one I talked about last week with Justin Herbert, he's a full yard and a half outside and gets smoked on his own 5-yard line at home and doesn't get a call. And I talked about how that could have maybe been the difference in that game. And so the inconsistencies of references are just atrocious all the way around. So you get that. Then they get there's a pass on the left sideline to MVS. It's like a 2nd and 6 or something like that, but time's running down. I think there's 19 seconds on the clock at this point after that play because they stopped the clock when he goes out of bounds. Well, the rules for a clock stoppage when you go out of bounds, because going out of bounds doesn't stop the clock. You have to go out of bounds and you have to be going forward, going out of bounds. He gets tackled falling backwards. He almost gets pulled back. He does. He gets pulled back a good yard and then they fall sideways out of bounds. Clearly, the clock should be running. Kansas City doesn't have any timeouts at this point. And so they stopped the clock right there. So before all these Chiefs fans get to playing and bitching and moaning about MVS in the 9 DPI call, because that's where I'm going next, because that's the next big blown call in this one, where MVS, he's 45 yards up the field, looks like it's another opportunity to be, if not a game-winning touchdown, then a catch that puts them on the doorstep of the end zone. And Patty's one of those guys where I'm gonna tell you right now, if Patty's got the ball with any time on the clock and he's on the 3-yard line, you can cancel Christmas because he's a guy. You know what I'm saying? So that's ball game. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's of course assuming MVS is gonna make that catch. I don't want these Chiefs fans acting like MVS didn't drop a butt naked one easier and more open than that. So without the DPI, we still don't know if MVS gonna catch that ball, Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? But in fairness, it is what it is. They don't matter. It was DPI. You know what I mean? The guy climbs his back. He's early. He kind of has to climb over him, and then he gets over with the with his left hand and knocks it away. And a 9 call. So I don't know how they missed that one as well. But so terrible officiating there. Realistically, Patty and those guys probably should have the ball at the 2, and maybe they end up winning that game. Or maybe they end up punching that one in, and we'll see what happens. But no, the officiating in this one was definitely terrible all the way around, man. And there was missed calls on both sides of that game. So that DPI was massive, and maybe in the grand scheme, maybe it does take away that scoring opportunity, that likely score from Patty. You know what I'm saying? Just give him respect to who he is as a player. But at the same time, without the 15-yard flag before that, and without the clock stoppage of MVS, maybe that play we're not even in position to even get that play. You know what I'm saying? You're 20 yards backwards, and maybe time. I mean, so there's just so much that was going on there. Bad officiation both ways. But the team that I felt deserved to win the game won the game at the end of the day. I think Green Bay outplayed Kansas City. You know what I'm saying? Flat out. They outplayed Kansas City in this game. And so I'm not mad at the fact that the world righted itself and they end up holding on and winning that game.
Gotcha. And Zach came in, man. He let us know what's really going on, man.
What's going
on? It's because Simone was down there toughing it out in the Green Bay weather while Taylor was up in the booth, you know what I'm saying, enjoying the warmth. That was the real reason why the Green Bay Packers came out and won this game, man. It's because the Swifties was too comfortable. They was getting too comfortable, you know what I'm saying, being the Swifties.
Hey, I tell you one thing, though. I know when Simone Biles looked up on the jumbo trying to see Taylor Swift in the box, she going to holler at old boy, like, why the hell I ain't in the box? Got me out here in the Green Bay. It's negative 12 degrees outside. But put me in the box, boy.
Hey, man, it's a difference, man. Hey, to me, that just let me know my dog Owens got a rider. You know what I'm saying? That's what that is.
Hey, for sure.
He got him a rider, and then on top of that, I don't think Owens getting the same bag.
He might not got it like that just yet. Yeah,
he ain't got that Kelsey bag. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, brother.
For sure, you're right. For sure.
But yeah, on to the next one. Let's go on to the last game of the week, Willie Jack. We had the Monday night game, man. Which turns out to be another good game. We have the Cincinnati Bengals go to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars, and your boy JB. And I ain't talking about Joe Burrow, man. I'm talking about Jake Brown, and man, he comes away with the W on the road, winning this one 34-31. Willie Jack, talk to me.
Hey, man, and you know what? I never even thought about that. Yeah, they do got the statement. Man, maybe he could be Jake Beasley. You know what I'm saying? He ain't Joe, maybe he could be Jake Beasley. You know what I'm saying? He put together one more of these. He might be Jake Beasley, man. I don't know.
Give him JB2, man. JB2.
Hey, JB Jr., what's the word, my boy?
JB Jr.
JB Jr. Hey, but real talk, once he got comfortable a little bit, he got his Burrow on, man. He goes 32 for 37. That's an incredible clip. 32 for 37, 354. Now only one touchdown. Great touchdown, one touchdown in the air, no interceptions, and then Rushes has a 20-yard rush touchdown in this as well. But if I told you a Bengals quarterback went to overtime away on the road in Jacksonville with that stat line, shit, you'd have thought it was Joe Burrow. And so that's a phenomenal game, man, by a guy that none of us knew before this matchup. So kudos to him, and it also speaks to the talent and ability of my dog. You know what I'm saying? We talked about Matt LaFleur. Might be trying to talk about Zach Taylor. You know what I'm saying? Me? Because Jake Browning went out there and got this one on the road in overtime against a division leader in the playoff team in Jacksonville. Jacksonville, who if they win this game, they're the number one seed in the AFC. So this was a massive game for Jacksonville as well. And so this game, honestly, it scares me because if Jake Browning can go out there and do, hey, there it is, little JB, there it is, just little JB out there doing what he got to do. But yeah, but if Jacksonville and little JB can go out there and get a win like this, you can go win that game in overtime on the road with Jake Browning as your quarterback. You can beat anybody. You know what I'm saying? They could beat just about anybody in this AFC. So the Bengals, now that's only two games now. One against the Steelers. Well, thankfully, we got him before he got comfortable, and then now he gets this victory against the Jaguars. But man, they look damn good. You know what I'm saying? I think from like the second quarter on, man, they settled in, and I didn't see no handcuffs. I didn't see no restricted play calling. I didn't see nothing. Man, Joe Burrow, Jake Browning, whoever, pick them as you will, and Zach Browning was out there calling the game like you know he played that game to win. Backup quarterback be down. This is our offense. This is what we do. And to Jake Browning's credit, man, he stepped out and he balled out. Huge day from Jamar Chase, going crazy, 11 for 179 at the touchdown. Of course, the impressive 75-yarder in this game. You got a workman-like performance from Joe Mixon, 19 carries, only 68 yards, but got in the paint twice. And he also gave 50 yards receiving as well. So a productive combined effort day from him. Tyler Boyd, I don't know. I'll tell you right now, Tyler Boyd, you done just tricked it off for yourself and anybody else in hopes of getting a receiver pass, a revert. Like look, nobody else is gonna get that play. Now that was a terrible pass. He throws an interception. Now the rest of the receiver room, like, bro, you done messed it up for all of us, bro. Jamar was waiting to get his, and now you know what I'm saying. As bad as that damn pass was, man, it is what it is. But so they ruined that. Then on the other side, man, for the Jaguars, tough game for them. Trevor Lawrence, before he goes down in this game, he goes down in the fourth quarter with an ankle sprain. And I think we kind of maybe touched on it a little earlier. Or no, I think we were talking before we went on air.
A little bit.
Yeah, from what I was seeing, it's not as bad as maybe it was thought to be. I don't think it's like a severe high ankle, but it is just a moderate standard ankle sprain, and so he may miss. He's not expected to miss substantial time. I don't know if he's going to play in the next game, but maybe so far the early thoughts are that he won't miss substantial time. But he goes for 252 touchdowns in this game, no interceptions, has the rushing touchdown before, of course, he leaves with the ankle injury. And then C.J. Bedford comes in, and he plays well as well. In his reserve capacity, he goes 9 for 10 for 63 yards in this game. Doesn't throw any touchdowns or whatnot, but like I said, 9 for 10 for 63 yards in spot duty midway through the fourth quarter. Shit, that's what more can you ask for? You know what I'm saying? When you put your backup quarterback in that position at that time of the game. Big game defensively for Josh Allen, the defensive edge. Josh Allen, 1.5 sacks, has an interception in this game, and he's a guy, he's playing for a check. It's a contract year, and he's balling. So he's playing damn good. I think he's maybe up to is he up to around 12 or so sacks? He's somewhere around the league lead in sack production. I want to say, I want to say he's somewhere up there, man. I feel like over these last few weeks, man, he's been putting up some pretty good sack production, some pretty good.
He's
sack
at 13. Numbers. He's at 13 and a half this year.
Oh, 13 and a half. Oh shit, but he got to be down there near the lead then. I think TJ and Daniil Hunter are also around 13.
Mac is leading the lead right now.
He got 14.
Khalil Mack got 15.
He got 15. Ooh, look at Mac. Oh yeah, Mac had 2 sacks in this last game.
Yeah, he had two sacks his last game, man. Khalil Mack, he turned it on, man. He turned it on.
Hey, you called him out. I think ever since you called him out, that boy been doing his thing since that, man. That's all he need. He just need a little pep talk from my dog.
Yeah. That's all. He heard me. He said, "All right, you been wanting sacks. Well, here goes 6 for you."
And you know what? That's probably my fault. I forgot to tell you he watched the show anyway. So yeah, he heard. Yeah, he heard what you said.
I don't know what we was thinking.
Chop got me messed up. Shot got me messed up. But no, this was a very impressive win for the Bengals, in all seriousness. And like I said, man, it opens up this game, this win has, and the outcome of this game has repercussions across several things. Like I said, the Texans are, depending on how things shake out with Trevor Lawrence, does this open the door back up for the Texans to still maybe make a run at that division? You know what I'm saying? To come through the back door and maybe make a run at this division. And then the Bengals as well. My Steelers lost and the Browns just lost. And nobody expected the Browns and Steelers just losing. You don't expect much from the Bengals without Joe Burrow. Well, now they shown, shit, we can keep this party going. You know what I'm saying? So now this AFC North, you know what I'm saying? Like the Ravens had an off week, and so we'll see what they do on the other side of their bye week, how they finish the season. But now the Bengals aren't out of this playoff conversation. And I thought we can close the door on them, but we can't. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, this is a great performance, and it should give, if you're a Bengals fan, you're definitely excited, and you got hope and something you can cling to. But because, like I said, man, 32 for 37, 350, and no turnovers in this game. Shit, I don't care who you are. Have a day. You know what I'm saying? So the Bengals are far from done.
Gotcha. And I'm with you there all with everything you said too, Willie Jack, in terms of this game and the way that it played out. And that was the point I was gonna make, was the fact that this injury could be very, very beneficial for the Texans and the Colts, but also devastating for the Jacksonville Jaguars, because with as competitive as this could come down to the wire to be, the division may be the only way that you can get into the playoffs. You know, because right now we got a couple 7-5 teams trying to fight for that seven spot, and those teams include the Houston Texans and the Colts. You know what I'm saying? So they're right there, and then right behind them, you still got the Bengals and the Bills. And if anybody knows, I don't see the Bills going anywhere anytime soon. You know what I'm saying? The Bills are trying to make noise and try to do what they need to do to try to keep themselves afloat. So. This could be very dangerous for the Jaguars, dangerous territory. Now they haven't ruled out Trevor Lawrence for this upcoming week yet. They saying he is to be determined as to whether he can play or not. It's a high ankle sprain, so I don't expect him to play.
Oh, it is okay.
But this is also crunch time, though. This is also crunch time, and players tend to play through a lot of different things to try to help their team win. So even if Trevor Lawrence misses this week, if they come out and lose the game this week, I expect Trevor Lawrence to try to get back on this field immediately, you know what I'm saying, to try to help his team win some of these games. So that's what I'm looking for here. And then as far as the Cincinnati Bengals, man, it's just a good win. And it shows how talented they are outside of just Joe Burrow. Now, we've seen this team without Joe, or when Joe is struggling, and they look like they were a team that was like pretty much doomed when he wasn't playing as well. But without him, and with Jake Browning at quarterback, Jake Browning, for one, played a very good game, but then also on top of that, it was a team effort. You know, it was Jamar Chase making the big plays that we're used to seeing him make. You know what I'm saying? It's the other receivers on key downs making key plays, and then Joe Mixon stepping up, you know what I'm saying, and saying, all right, look, I know we're going to have to lean a lot on me. I'm going to have to touch the ball a lot, but I'm okay with it. Give me the rock and watch me work with it. And then it came down to the wire, the defense making the right plays at the right time. The defense made plays. They got a couple sacks on C.J. Beathard, who came in to replace Trevor Lawrence towards the end of this game to help put the Bengals in position to get this W, man. So it's all around good win, all around good performance on both sides of the ball. Even though they did give up a lot of points, you know, playing against Trevor Lawrence, they showed up when it counted, you know, and that's really that matters. If you got the opportunity, you know what I'm saying, the same way we talk about quarterbacks, regardless if the other team scores 30 points, you know what I'm saying, if you score 30 points or if you score 27 points and you still got an opportunity at the end of the game, we want you to show up or do what you're supposed to do for the team. Same for the defenses. We gave up 30 points this game, but at the end of the day, we got an opportunity to still, you know, make a play to win us this game, and they were able to do that too down the stretch. So big win for the Bengals, man. Shout out to them.
No doubt.
Absolutely. And last but not least, no. Before I go to the next week, I'm sorry. I was getting ready to go into the Thursday night game, but before we go to the Thursday night game, give me your actual performer of the week, man. Who was your actual performer of the week this week?
Ooh, let me see here. You know what, man? I'm gonna go Brock Purdy, man. Brock Purdy, and what should have been this, and you know, we got to use this as example, I think, a couple times this year, and it applies again. I thought I was getting Bud Crawford, Earl Spence, and then at the end I got Bud Crawford, Earl Spence. Like I thought that was gonna be Ali and Frazier, and instead it ended up being a one-sided spanking. And so, but shout out to Brock Purdy, man, in that game, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no interceptions, and honestly, man, I mean, got himself in the MVP talk after this game. And I don't like how fast we jumped him to the favorite. He's the favorite now for the MVP after this performance. Like I said, I still feel like he's coloring inside the lines. He goes for over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. Well, one of those was a 7-yard tunnel screen pass to Debo, and Debo took it 50 yards to the crib. But the name of the game is quarterback, and especially a quarterback that finds a way to win. And so, yeah, man, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a massive game the way it was, man, still on the road. And like I said, man, so I'll give it to Brock Purdy, man. That was a big-time performance.
Yeah, it was a big-time performance, man, with the Jack. And I was looking at these names, man, and there's a lot of different people that I can kind of go with, man. But I think I'm going to go all the way back to Thursday Night Football, man. I ain't going to Thursday Night Football. I'm gonna stick with Sunday, man. I'm gonna go with Nico Collins, man. Big game.
Oh yeah, he had a day.
I want to get somebody new. I could have went Tyreek Hill in this one because Tyreek Hill had another good game this week. But I'm gonna go with Nico, man. 9 for 191, man, in this game. Had a tremendous game. And just stepped up, even with his partner going out. He stepped up in this game and showed that, hey, man, I'm a real deal number one, and I'm gonna be here with CJ Stroud for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to keep this thing rolling, and I'm going to keep on making plays for him. So I'm going to give mine to Nico Collins. Big game, big-time win against a hot Broncos team this past Sunday. So, yeah, that's what I'm rolling with. Nico Collins is my performer of the week this week.
No, and like I said, man, that can't go wrong with that as well. And then shout out to ZB, man, because just like you said, man, he was leaning towards that Thursday game. He went ahead and did it for you, man. He's going DK in that Thursday night performance, man. Man, going out there and taking lunch money from Deron Bland on national TV all night long. But like I said, Deron's playing, man. To Deron's credit, he got one himself, and like I said, they got out there with the dub. But definitely a big game for DK, man.
The only reason I didn't pick, because I was thinking about it, I was like, they lost. I got to get a performer of the week to a winner, man. So that's why I went that way. But on to Thursday night, Willie Jack. We got the Thursday night game, man. We got the New England Patriots going to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers this Thursday night. Tell me why you got the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh man, I tell you why. For one, because all right, I don't have any rhyme or reason because we got Mr. Trubisky. So I can't even pretend to paint it sweet. I can't.
So is he actually starting this game? Is Mr. Trubisky starting?
Kenny Pickett's out. So he got a high ankle sprain. This severe. He had surgery. He had surgery that next day. They got him in there, and so he had some type of a relatively minor surgery, but he's out until, like I said, they're expecting him to return by week 18 for our game in Baltimore to close the season. So it will be Trubisky. The only saving grace. Hey man, that's uncalled for, sis. All right, we got 37 seconds left in the show.
Listen. I thought she was gonna let you go or let you get out of here without saying that, but she said, "Nah, bro, you ain't getting out of here without me saying."
And this is the fantasy for me this year. It's been rough going anyway. But what you gonna do when Nico Collins goes 9 for damn near 200 yards and a touchdown and put up 40 points? But what are you gonna do with that, man? What am I gonna do with that?
Here's the thing. Before I let you finish your analysis of the Steelers game, man, Willie Jack made sure all the film fam knew that my wife beat me in the fantasy. You know what I'm saying? And then he gonna try to skip past the fact that my wife beat him too. This is crazy.
Come on, hey man, solidarity, dog. Man, we one band, one sound, man. You think your wife gonna beat you and I'm just gonna watch it happen? Man, one band, one sound, man. One heartbeat, man. You know how we roll, man. Yeah, man. I'm just standing tall with my dog, man. Y'all know how I get down. But no, I'm taking Pittsburgh, man, to bounce back. It's a short week, a lot of adversity, man. We got Mr. Trubisky. The only saving grace is Mac Jones and Bradley Zappi to this point haven't found out a way to score 7 points. And so until they can show me they consistently score 7 points, we got a chance. And so I'm taking my boys. I'm taking 17-6 at home on a short week. And honestly, I'm calling for a defensive touchdown, man. Defensive touchdown in this game. This is the game to do it. It's been a while since I feel like we had one. I think this is the game we get one. Because I don't expect Mr. Trubisky to give me much more than 10 points. Hopefully we can get that. I'm getting 10 points from my offense. I'm getting 7 from my defense. It's going to be 17-6 Pittsburgh. bouncing back after an ugly and unexpected loss to a Cardinals 2-win Cardinals team.
Hey, Willie Jack, I don't know, man.
Man, don't play with me, man. You just made me lose Arizona because you just all right. See how you do me? You see how you do me?
Let me finish, man.
Look how he does his dog.
Nah, bro. All I was finna say, bro, I don't know if y'all gonna put up 17, man. They ain't give up 10 points in the last 3 games, bro.
And no, that's what I'm saying. See, 7 from the defense. That's what I'm saying. 7 from the defense.
I got you.
Yeah,
I can feel it.
10 from the offense. Okay. I'm playing by the rules. I know what's going on.
So here we go, man. I'm going. I got Steelers winning this game too. I got Steelers. You know what I'm saying? I know I threw the pattern off a little bit, but this is where y'all kind of revamp the pattern, man. Y'all get back to y'all own stuff. You know what I'm saying? This is what y'all do. So I got the Steelers winning this game. I'm gonna go ahead and say I got the final score being 16-10. 16-10 in this game, a low scoring game. I just don't see this Patriots offense being able to put together anything. I think they somehow find their way to a touchdown. I don't know how it's gonna come. I don't know who it's gonna come from, but I think they find their way and they get a touchdown this game. But there's no way they're able to put up enough points or put up enough fight to compete with this Steelers team who's going to be hungry, who's going to be ready to go. Now, I'm unsure if Najee Harris is going to play this game, but you know how I feel about it anyway. I'm cool with it. I want to see a little more Jaylen Warren anyway. So I want to see Jaylen Warren get his full, get all the carries in this game. You know what I'm saying? But I also want to see how this offense is going to look. But the one thing I can say about Mike Tomlin and how he's going to prepare his team, he's going to be able to do something to where they can generate some points on offense. I think that I can get with it. I think they'll be able to find a way. And I think you guys still have the weapons in the passing game to still be able to find some open spots against this Patriots defense. You know what I'm saying? So that's part of the reason why I think you guys will win. And then I just see no way, or I don't see how the Patriots are able to put together, points in this game. So yeah, I'm sticking with Steelers in this game. They come away, they get this W, and they're gonna take care of business at home.
Now, hey, I appreciate it. From your lips to God's ears, I tell you every time, man, we need it, man. Blind, cripple, crazy, man, hook a crook, whatever we got to do, man. We can win the 5-3. As long as we leave with the W, man, I will take it every time.
Gotcha. All right, man. Well, Willie Jack.
Hey, there y'all have it, man. That's all.
And I'm gonna let you close it on now, Willie Jack. Of course, you got to give us a game ball too.
For sure.
But let me apologize to everybody, man. We started a little bit late today, man. We had some family stuff to take care of today, man. So we was running a few minutes late, you know what I'm saying? And then we carried it a little bit longer, you know what I'm saying? So we about halfway after 9, you know. So we apologize for being a little bit late tonight. But hey, man, we promise y'all we're gonna be here on Wednesdays, and we here, man. We here.
Hey, no, for sure, man. And that was on me tonight, man. Like I said, my niece had her step team or dance team had a performance tonight. You know what I'm saying? Uncle Willie had to be in the building, man. And so, y'all know I yelled loud as I could and embarrassed her as much as I possibly could. So y'all already knew I held it down how I'm supposed to, man. But they did a wonderful job. I love you. You're beautiful. You did great and all that good stuff. Now back on business. That's it. That's all. We came. We saw. We conquered. Game ball to my dog ZB, man. ZB came with the heat today, man. Return the champ, man. ZB something like he's something like Tom. He's something like Tom Brady in his run. He's something like you know what I'm saying. I was trying to think of somebody. I didn't want to say LeBron. You know what I'm saying? But hey, ZB something like the GOAT right about now, man. He in his
something like TJ Hawkinson at tight end. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, there it is. They're trying to go. My dog getting sleepy. He's talking crazy. Hey man, shout out to all them members in the building tonight, man. We appreciate y'all holding us down. Like I said, it went a little late tonight, man. We love the conversation. Mom's is first one in the building today. Love you, lady. Our dog ZB was in this thing. Wifey and sister of the show, Mrs. Boyce, was in here as well. Man, who else was in this thing? Man, my sis came through as well. Our dog, man, Tom was in this thing. Terrible Tom walking in those Texans. My dog Miles slid through. Quick Fix Academy, man. That's my dog D-Lo, man. He was in the building as well. I appreciate your homeboy. Man, hey, I'm looking for the rest of y'all. Hey, y'all know what time it is. If I forgot to say your name, damn, my bad. But charge it to my head. Don't charge it to my heart. We thinking about you, big dog. We appreciate all the love support, man. Good conversation today for sure, man. And ZB apologized earlier. Yeah, I'm going to blame ZB. ZB, it's your fault, man. You can't be in the chat giving us all these great talking points about Mike Evans, if he needs to be in the Hall of Fame or not. What you expect us to do, man? You know what I'm saying? We got to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But y'all come with the smoke in the chat, man. Y'all talk to us. We love to talk back. And shout out to ZB. He said he's donating this game ball to Shonda. But damn, man, why I gotta catch it straight? Why can't you just donate to Shonda on the strip? It's gotta be because you know what I'm saying? Why I gotta catch it straight? Damn. Man, y'all tune in Sunday at 10 o'clock, man. Y'all know what we gonna do, man. You know we ain't gonna have no watchers. Come in here, man. Kick with your dogs, man. Sunday, 10 o'clock. Turn up with your boys, man, before your football Sunday. Other than that, we appreciate all the love support. Sorry we kept y'all a little later tonight than normal. But until next time, y'all be easy. Peace.
Peace.